Happy New Year's Eve! It is December 31st, 2021. I am the Solomonster, and this is your New Year's Smash stream here on New Year's Eve. We are only a couple of hours away from 2022. I want to thank you all for joining me here tonight. We're going to have people filing in and out all night long, and we're doing something a little bit different here compared to last year. There was no Rampage last year. Tonight, there is a new edition of AEW Dynamite. It is literally going on the air right now. And so I have that on in the background here. And what we'll do is we'll do a little AEW watch along for Rampage tonight while we interact, while we chat. I'll read your super chats as they come in. Comments, questions, Happy New Year messages, whatever it might be. Yes, I've got the Jack and Coke right here. I am prepared. Food Hive already chiming in with a super chat. And Darby Allin on his way out to the ring with Sting for his match against Anthony Bowens of The Acclaimed. So we're going to have a good time tonight. We're going to hang out for at least the next 2.5 hours. Who knows how late we'll go. But you guys got me at least until a little after midnight. I know in some parts of the world it's already 2022. I am on the East Coast. So wherever you may be watching this, just so you know, it is a couple of more hours until it is New Year's here in New York. We're not quite there yet. But if you are already, I wish you a Happy New Year wherever you may be. Here come The Acclaimed. I'm going to miss Max Caster's rap since I have this muted. So you guys in the chat are going to have to let me know what he's talking about in the rap. Thank you, Irvin. The plan for tonight, by the way, is not only are we going to do this watch along, and I'll comment here and there on Rampage rather. We are going to talk about the Big Swole story, which got very big in the last couple of hours. I was not planning on talking about this tonight, any kind of heavy subject matter, but she said some things on her podcast, and Tony Khan couldn't help himself. Tony Khan got into the White Claws a little bit early tonight, and he put a tweet out, and it is trending. It's all people have been talking about the last couple of hours, so it has to be addressed. I am going to talk about it. I'm sure you guys will have a lot to say. Let's keep it civil in the chat. Our mods are on alert. If anybody gets out of hand, you're out of here. So you have been warned. We're here to have fun tonight. We're going to have a civil discussion, but we're here to have fun. So we will talk about that. I am also going to get into WWE Day One predictions. I have changed one of my predictions for Day One coming up this weekend, coming up tomorrow. I keep thinking it's Sunday, but there's a pay-per-view tomorrow night. I did change one of my predictions. I'll leave it up to you guys to figure out which one it is. We will go over that. And we will, of course, count down to midnight. So Darby and Anthony Bowens getting started here. This is a show where a couple of people wrote into me who were at Daly's Place on Wednesday telling me you've got to watch the main event. There is a street fight tonight, Ty Conti and Anna Jay against the Bunny and Penelope Ford. And I had at least 2 or 3 different people tell me that this match is unbelievable, it's bloody, and you're going to want to watch it. So I have some raised expectations going into this main event tonight that we are going to get something special here on this final AEW show of the year. Hey, Brian Becerra, checking in with a super chat. Happy birthday, or happy birthday. Maybe it is his birthday. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, brother. Bryant is part of every stream, every show that I do. He has been with me through thick and thin all year long. He's the real one. So I thank him. As Bowens and Darby doing a little bit of chain wrestling here at the beginning of the match. Darby powers his way back to his feet. Little Greco-Roman action going on here. There's Brian's super chat. I'm seeing him before they're popping up on screen here, but there it is. See, the Butcher and the motherfucking Blade. The Butcher and the Blade. Eric Harper, Happy New Year to you, man. We got a lot of people filing into the chat. Lord Frieza. Holy shit, look who showed up. Paul Hamilton with the $250 bomb. We're only 5 minutes into the stream, 6 minutes. 7 minutes, actually. Paul, what's going on? Happy New Year, my friend. Paul Hamilton. Paul Hamilton. Boy, let me tell you, he dropped some love on me this past week. Paul was on a Hawaiian vacation. I was very jealous. I've not been on vacation in almost 2 years. And I've never been to Hawaii. So I was very jealous of Paul, but Paul checked in and said he was listening to me and my streams and the podcast while he was away on vacation, which I'm sure pleased his beautiful other half. Lord Frieza, what's going on, man? Hey, Carl is turning 30 next Tuesday. Shout out to Carl Guy in the chat. Bowens working over Darby Allin. Whipping him into the corner. Darby, though. Man, Darby is flying all over the place here. I said this on the Dynamite stream on Wednesday. The aesthetics of Daly's Place when it's packed and they shoot it from this different angle. All those shows they did during the pandemic when there were, no real fans in the building, where they were all kind of up in the upper sections. We had this one static kind of hard camera view of the stage and the 2 tunnels. And it gets tiresome after a while. This is actually a very cool venue. And down goes Max Caster. Darby just caught him with a right hand. He tried to get involved. And down goes Max, Platinum Max. But all that to say that Daly's Place looks good. Hey, RDSX, don't worry, brother. As long as you're here, that's all that matters. Jay Bentley joining us. Darby just got knocked off the apron to the floor, favoring his arm. So obviously that's going to be the target here for Bowen. Sting's collecting his money either way. So I don't know how interested Sting is. They just went to a picture-in-picture break. And while they're doing that, this is a good opportunity for me to just talk really quickly here about something very sad. That I was shocked because she was just talking the other day about how great she felt. Betty White passed away today at the age of 99. She would have turned 100 years old on January 17th. I mean, that's like getting tackled at the 1-yard line. But her career is unmatched. I mean, this woman, her career spanned 80 years. Radio, television, film. I don't think there is a person, dead or alive, who had the kind of longevity and success in television specifically that Betty White had. I mean, sitcom, all kinds of television shows, game shows, her own talk show, everything you can imagine. This woman's career in television is unbelievable. My grandmother used to watch The Golden Girls. I had no interest in it because I wasn't in that age group until I was in college. And it was being rerun on a few different channels. It felt like it was on all the time. And I started watching it, and it was really funny. And since then, I've probably seen every episode 5 times over from all 7 seasons. It is a great show. So do not let the fact that it's a show, which is based around the lives of a bunch of older geriatric women, take away from the fact that the writing on the show and the comedy on the show is top notch. But Betty White, as you can see there, the image on your screen, Betty White, also one of the best celebrity guest hosts that WWE ever had. On Monday Night Raw back in 2014, there were plenty of terrible ones. But it is funny to me that the 2 best ones that they ever had were Bob Barker and Betty White. Barker was in his 80s at the time, and Betty White was already in her 90s. Barker, for sure, is the best celebrity guest host they ever had. Betty White, if she isn't number 2, she's pretty high up on the list. But at least we still have Bob Barker. He just turned 98. And you know what else they have in common? They were both big advocates for animal rights. So if you are a fan of animals and animal rights, then you're okay in my book. So I wanted to give a shout out to Betty White before I forgot here, because, I mean, look, the woman was 99 years old. Her passing away, not a huge surprise, but being so close to the centennial and she was all excited about it, it's like, you know, this year wasn't done giving us one last punch to the gut. So shout out to Betty White. So Rampage is back. Let me just bring it up here. More interested in Betty White than I am Darby Allin and Anthony Bowens. Here we go. Darby, of course, on the mat. Anthony getting the heat. A lot of Bob Barker fans. I'm telling you, as the Raw guest host, the guy was old, but man, he was still sharp. And the comedy with him and Chris Jericho, that segment was great. You know, most of that Raw celebrity host stuff was very much a miss. But they struck gold when they got Barker on the show. It's almost as if the guy had some experience being in television. He knew how to play to the crowd. He knew how to play to the camera. All right, Darby just knocked Anthony Bowens off the ropes. Was setting up for a move, but now he got crotched. And Cora Jade is smiling somewhere. Bowens has, what is this? Very interesting twisting DDT by Anthony Bowens. That was impressive. Tries to win with his feet on the ropes. That ain't gonna work. Hey, one big dingus. Well, I guess if you got one, you should be proud, I suppose. Yeah, Jesse Ventura was another one. He was another good guest host. So again, I mentioned the women's street fight, the tag team street fight coming up at the end of the show tonight. But there's also a TNT championship match. Cody Rhodes defending against Ethan Page. It was a week ago that Cody beat Sammy Guevara to win the TNT title. A very polarizing win, to say the least. Oh, Darby coming back. Darby is coming back. He's going up top. Anthony Bowens on the apron. Darby's got a hold of his arm. What the fuck is he going for here? So Darby has Bowens' hand under his foot on top of the ring post. And he lets him fall to the ground. Oh, I think we're getting a Darby dive. This is one of my favorite parts of AEW. Darby is going to dive. Here, Caster up on the apron. Sting trips him up. And there goes Max Caster into the barricade. Bowens pulls Darby outside, rams him into the barricade. Oof. Slam Darby face first onto the ring apron. If you are just joining us, I want to wish you all a very happy new year, wherever you may be, whatever time zone you may be in. We are celebrating the beginning of a new year. We are putting 2021 in the rearview mirror. We are starting fresh, kind of like AEW's rankings. A code red by Darby, only 2. Bowens back out to the floor. Caster coming over. Oh, I think we're getting a dive. Sting's giving the yes He's given the nod, and here he comes. And Darby, like a torpedo, shoots himself out of the ring like a fucking cannon. Brian says I'm 30 seconds behind TNT coverage. I'm watching on YouTube TV. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but if it's on a delay, you'll live. And here's the coffin drop. Oh, that was a good one. So that's going to be at 1, 2, finito. Darby Allin, not surprisingly, picks up the win. The monster is a little behind. All right. I hear you. We got 500 and growing here. We're going to be on the air past midnight tonight. Yeah, I was going to go live at 11. I said, I'll go live at 10. Not knowing that we would have even more stuff to talk about here. So here comes Andrade coming out to applaud Darby on his win. I guess we're getting a little taste of what's coming up next here. A little Bowens knocked out Sting with the boombox. Caster going after Darby. So getting a little tease here of what might be coming up next. Cody and Andrade, or not Cody, Darby and Andrade. I got Cody on the brain. He's coming up soon. And Bowens has Darby hooked. Caster with a chain shot to the face. Sting is down. Darby is down. So the Acclaim stand tall. Anthony Bowens loses, but the Acclaim stands tall. Andrade and Darby, I think that's something new. Gives Andrade something to do. He hasn't been doing much of late. All right, so they're at commercial now. Drew, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to read all of these super chats. Did they say the women are up next? Apparently the women's match is up next. Some people are very upset, saying that should have been the main event. Well, you had to know that if Cody is on the show in a championship match, I mean, did you really think that Cody was going to semi-main to the women on this show? You know what, though? It's a championship match, so I understand it. When you have a title match on the show, if it's the only title match, I can't argue with that going on last. Hey, HL just became a channel member. What's going on, HL? Thank you for becoming a member of our Sound Off channel family here on YouTube. All right, so the women are next, and apparently I am a couple of minutes behind. So you guys let me know what you want me to do here, because I got plenty of other stuff I could talk about. But this is supposed to be a watch. It's a delayed watch along, thanks to YouTube TV. We have some people watching probably on Fight TV who are out of the country. You guys probably don't even have any commercials. Nathaniel, Happy New Year to you, brother. Yeah, Cody's match, well, I don't know if it was his match specifically. Rampage, I believe, was up a little bit last week. I think Cody's match did pretty well. So if you're just joining, we are going to talk about Big Swole and Tony Khan. I'm going to try to wait until Rampage is over and then get into that. We'll go into WWE Day One predictions. I did change one of them from the other day based on something that happened on Monday night. And then we're going to count down until midnight. This is exciting. I'm all prepared here. I got my my party hat. It wouldn't be a Happy New Year without a Happy New Year party hat. And by the way, I will have you know, if you remember the stream from last year, I had New Year's glasses. And I was too cheap to go out and buy a pair of 2022 glasses. So we have the, we still have the 2021, but see, it is still 2021. So I thought, well, the glasses are still kind of relevant, even though they're mirrored right now. But I'm wearing these in advance in preparation of 2021 coming to an end. So we're all ready here. We got the hat. We're all ready to go. I look ridiculous, but that's okay. That's all right. I feel like I'm not the only one who's going to end up being ridiculous tonight. Let's turn these off here so I don't give anybody a seizure. What's everybody drinking? If you are drinking, some people do not drink. I know a lot of people drink champagne. You know, I still have one of those Jericho bottles of bubbly from the cruise last year, but I didn't want to have to contend with the cork. You should have seen me when I cracked open a bottle of champagne last year. I stood in the shower because I knew it was going to go all over the place. I hate corks. Fuck the cork. I said, you know what? Some good old-fashioned Jack and Coke. That's all you need. Some Jack and Coke on ice. All right, Dynamite is coming up on Wednesday next week. That is going to be the first TBS Dynamite. So big Dynamite coming up next week with the rematch with Hangman Page and Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Championship. Right now we are seeing a Taz segment talking about Hook's finishing move, Redrum, the former Taz mission. We're getting a technique by Taz here. So I can't hear him, so I'll let him fill you in on the technique. Boy, we got quite a variety here. We've got Honey Jack. We've got Champagne, of course. Sapporo and Chardonnay from Bust My Chops. Texas Tea. Stacker 2. I don't know what that has to do with drinking, but okay. Tuxedo T Servo says Jack Fire, basically a fireball. Very good. Colombian Rum and Coke. Fine choice. A fine choice. Well, here comes the bunny. And again, I am a little delayed. Here comes the bunny and Penelope Ford. I have heard great things about this match. So I am very curious to see how this match looks on TV. I have not been a fan of this program. This program, I mean, it's nice that they're in the middle of a program. They've been given a program. They have something to do. It just feels to me this whole stuff with the Bunny and Anna Jay and Ty Conti has been going on for far too long. And the Brass Knucks. And this feud has done nothing for me. But at least if it pays off in a great match, then at least they'll go out on a high note. Well, here we go. It's only first starting for me, so that'll give you a sense of how far back I am. Oh, see, all the other YouTube TV folks, they're right on cue with me. So this is a street fight, no rules. It's a garbage match. I feel like in 2021, you know, we look back on this year in wrestling, WWE, NXT, AEW. I feel like we've seen more garbage matches with the women than we ever have before. Some of them have been good, some of them not good at all. And you just hope nobody gets hurt. But we've got a table set up outside now by the baby faces. Yeah, a lot of Danhausen fans. I wasn't the only one who noticed that. A lot of Danhausen fans and Danhausen signs and his face being held up in the crowd on Wednesday. Danhausen has a injury to his Leghausen, so he's going to be out for a while. But I think there's a very good chance he'll wind up in this company when he is all healed up and ready to come back. I don't think you have to worry about seeing Danhausen in AEW next year. So Penelope Ford just came off. Oh my God. Holy shit. Ooh. Penelope Ford just had an I am the table moment with Ty Conti. Ty Conti was laid across a table outside the ring on the floor. And Penelope went up to the top rope, did a moonsault, landed on top of Ty Conti, and the table did not break. She bounced. Not her fault, but holy shit, that looks like it sucked for Ty Conti. She just broke something over Ty Conti's head. I don't know what it was. Maybe a candy jar or something. Got pieces of glass shattering everywhere. Tending now to the bunny on the outside. Is the bunny busted? I know the bunny bleeds in this match. I can't tell if she's already bleeding. Yep, she's bleeding. There you go. There you go. The bunny hopped into something. She's bloody on the right side of her face, and they just pulled out another table from underneath the ring. They're putting it on the inside. There it is. She's got half a crimson mask, does the bunny. And Ty Conti also busted open. So we got double juice here in this match. We have a double juice match, and it's not even the main event here on Rampage. Rick Knox is the referee. You may as well have a fucking blow-up doll in there. He probably would do the same kind of job. So the heels are putting some chairs in the middle of the ring. I have no idea what they're setting up for. We have a table propped up over the middle rope in the corner. The baby faces are licking their wounds outside the ring. We've got chairs in the middle. They just threw Anna Jay inside. Hey, Elton, I love you too. Happy New Year. Oh. Anna Jay just reversed. Is that the bunny? I think it was the bunny. Onto one of the chairs with a suplex. Calling over to Ty Conti. Back up. Now they went to a picture-in-picture. Always do the picture-in-picture during the women's matches. I mean, not that they don't do them during the men's matches, but I think every single women's match ever in the history of this company has had a picture-in-picture break. So anyway, they're at commercial break. The inflatable ref. Yeah. Hey, Groovy Goose. Dropping $5. I'm going to read all of your super chats in a little bit. I got you. Don't worry. Don't worry. Actually, you know what? I should probably read some of them now, so we're not all... It's probably a good idea. So why don't we do that? Why don't we, while they're at commercial, we can start on some of your super chats here. We'll go back and forth. Amiibo Guru dropping $5 with the wife and in-law checking in. Happy New Year, Solomonster in chat. How about one more Vic Joseph for 2021? This one, Amiibo, is for you. Oh! Happy New Year to Vic Joseph. Probably my best all year. Except for the one with her last night. Dorenzo, $14 super chat. Happy New Year, Solomonster. I now own that CM Punk inspired Solomonster shirt, and it has quickly become my favorite wrestling t-shirt I own, and I own a lot. Hope 2020 brings you, are we going backwards? Hope 2020 brings you all of the joy in the world. I don't want to go back to 2020. I want to leave 2020 in the year view mirror. Fuck 2020. But thank you. Thank you, Dorenzo. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Griga, Happy New Year, Solomonster and Solo Squad. Ace of Masta, Happy New Year, everybody. Someone get Tony Khan off that Florida snow. Flamethrower Fluff Salisbury, $5 super chat. Happy New Year, Solomonster and gang. We found out a few weeks ago that Fluff Jr. has a 4-year scholarship. Be safe, everybody. Well, congrats to Fluff on his scholarship. That's awesome. I had a scholarship too, but it was only for 1 semester. I got a little cash award and they kicked me in the ass and said, you got to pay the rest of your tuition all on your own. But thankfully, 3 years ago, I finally paid it all off. And you can too. I know a lot of people are paying off student loan debt. Feels like you'll never see the light at the end of the tunnel. That was me. That was me too for about 14 or 15 years, however long it was, until finally I finished it. I promise you, there is a light at the end of that very dark tunnel. You kind of feel like you're that hamster on the wheel. You're paying and paying and paying, and then it's not going anywhere because the interest keeps compounding. Trust me, I know that feeling. So any scholarship is a good scholarship, so congratulate him for me. Congrats to him. Food Hive. Boy, this show is still a commercial. Food Hive, $10 super chat. Highly disappointed in Tony Khan's response to Big Swole. As the head of the company, when issues of race come up, you cannot take shots. She expressed how she felt. And Drew Johnson, Crown and Coke, baby. Thank you for the 5. Thank you, Drew. All right, well, we're back. They're back. The show is back. And Anna Jay very lightly just got put through a table. She was on the bunny's back. The bunny fell backwards, and the table barely broke, but it did break. Boy, the bunny is a mess. Look at the bunny. She's got her Britt Baker going on. She is a bloody fucking mess. Holy shit. Jesus, how much was your college tuition? I mean, hey, Jordan, shoot me an email. Shoot me an email or a tweet. Probably better to do an email than a tweet. I'll let you know. We do have a Solomonster Discord. It has not been very active, but I did set it up. It is open for channel members only right now. At least for the time being. I feel like if I open it up public, it'll be kind of a shit show in there, but email me and I'll get you in. And anybody else, by the way, who recently became a channel member who wants to at least be in the Discord, shoot me an email, let me know your YouTube username, and I'll get you in there. So I am at the part where they just emptied, the bunny did, a whole bunch of thumbtacks in the ring. So we are going full hardcore here in this match. And she is backed into the corner by Anna Jay. So somebody is going into the tacks, and I have a feeling it's going to be this poor bunny here. So Anna has the bunny perched up top. Might be setting up for a superplex. Onto the tacks. Uh-oh. This ain't going to look good. This is not going to end well. Ah! Ah! And the bunny is superplexed onto the thumbtacks. And probably Anna Jay, too. The back of her head probably went right into the fucking tacks. Jesus. The bunny is rolling in agony on the tacks. Anna covers her for the 1, the 2, and Penelope Ford breaks it up. That is not the finish. And Penelope gets a few tacks stuck in her arms for good measure. I don't know what Ty Conti was trying to use a chair. She was on the apron and was moving in slow motion. She got knocked down, and Penelope Ford just propelled herself up over the top rope onto the apron and stomped on the chair on Ty Conti's chest. And now the two of them are brawling out on the apron. I cannot hear because I have the audio muted, but I'm being told there are chants of holy shit. And Ty Conti is about to hit a gotch pile driver through the table. Well, that broke. That broke. And both women are dead out on the floor. Penelope is laying on top of Ty Conti in the rubble. And we got a long shot of these where finally they cut back to the ring. They were lingering on those women. And now back in the ring, the bunny is up. She's got the knucks. She has the brass knucks. And she... What the fuck? She slipped and did a split on the tacks. So she may have gotten some thumbtacks in her hoo-ha. And look at this. Anna Jay has the Queen Slayer, and look at this. She has barbed wire wrapped around her forearm and wraps the arm around the bunny's throat for the sleeper hold, and the bunny taps out. They're laying in the tacks. This is a fucking mess. I don't mean that in a bad way, but this ring is a mess. There is debris, there's blood, there's tacks. These women killed each other in this match. Now, you know what? That was actually a really innovative finish there. Her wrapping the barbed wire around her arm before wrapping it around the bunny's throat. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Ty Conti is in tears. She is being held up by the referee, pointing at Anna Jay, who's pointing back at her. The bunny is just, I mean, I can't even tell if she has skin on her face. It's all covered in red. The baby faces are crying. Now, look, I know what I just said about putting the championship match on last. I find it hard to believe that Cody and Ethan Page is going to be as much of a spectacle as what we just saw. So kudos to those women, man. They fucking destroyed each other in that match. You know, as hardcore matches go, it was a hardcore match. They did the usual hardcore spots. But I like that finish. That finish was very clever, I thought. Very, very clever. A lot of violence here on New Year's Eve. A lot of bloody violence. I like it. I like the violence here on New Year's Eve. Someone says, the professor is in the house. Is that true? I looked away for a second. Did I miss something here? Is the professor here? There he is in all his glory, dropping $300 on New Year's Eve. Professor John Gotti with the fucking bomb of all bombs. $300 super chat wishing Happy New Year to me and the chat. Here's hoping for a positive year for everybody. The family appreciates the excellent content. Well, Professor, you have been one of our great benefactors here on YouTube all year long on all of the streams. I cannot thank you enough. All I can do is say thank you and salute you. I am very fortunate. I am very blessed. I am very lucky to have fans, followers, listeners, viewers, as loyal and as dedicated as you, because you don't have to do that, but you choose to. And I just hope that I can continue to deliver content that you enjoy in 2022, just like I did in 2021. That's the promise I make you. If you like what you hear and you like what you see, you're going to get a lot more of it next year. That I can promise you. So thank you, sir. And Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to the family. Class dismissed. The good professor. So they're running down the card right now for Dynamite, and I was saying a little bit earlier that Dynamite is on TBS for the first time next Wednesday. We have the championship match, Hangman Page against Bryan Danielson. We have the finals of the TBS title tournament, Jade Cargill and Ruby Soho. Lucha Bros defend the tag team titles against Jurassic Express. So no DQ, no holds barred on Rampage next week. Eddie Kingston and Santana and Ortiz against Daniel Garcia and 2.0. And what they're calling Saturday Fight Night. So interesting. They have changed the name of the show, it looks like. It was Battle of the Belts. And they just had a graphic on screen that said Saturday Fight Night because the only match they've announced so far is the women's title match with Riho and Britt Baker. And they have not announced a single other match for that show next Saturday that's coming up on January 8th. So right now, that's the only match that we are aware of. And apparently, it is no longer Battle of the Belts. Look at this fucking guy. So Cody is on my screen right now with a t-shirt that says heel babyface winner with check boxes next to it. And in the box next to winner is his horrible neck tattoo. Heel and now, you know what? I have to say this. I don't like that because we all know what the deal is. People throw around terms like heel and babyface all the time. But to me, that's like Russo level shit that I didn't like when he did it in WCW either. When you're watching the show, and I'm going back to when this was going on in WCW. When you're watching the show and the announcers are openly talking about, you know, going against the script and heels and baby faces and marks and all that kind of stuff, it takes you out of it. I think it's just fucking dumb. And so if Cody wants to play both sides and he wants to be the tweener, is he going to be the bad guy? Is he going to be the good guy and kind of blur the lines? That's fine. I don't need to be seeing him wearing a fucking t-shirt that says heel and babyface. I mean, I just think that's fucking dumb. That's me. It may not bother you. I just think that's fucking stupid. I don't like that. But he is coming up next, defending his TNT title against Ethan Page. So that is going to be the main event. We are almost through Rampage. We are going to talk about the Tony Khan situation. It has become a situation. It is trending on social media, and it is nobody's fault but his own. It is a mess of his own making, and I will explain to you why when I talk about this. And then we'll get into WWE Day One predictions. And then we are counting down. The reason that we are all here tonight is right there on your screen. That is the countdown. We are 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 36 seconds away, now 33 seconds, from 2022 here in New York. That is East Coast time. I will occasionally be popping that countdown on screen, so I hopefully will not be talking over the new year. That happens sometimes. I get so caught up in what I'm talking about, I may turn around, it'll be 12:02. So I'll need you guys to keep me honest here to make sure I don't miss the countdown. But that's where we are. We're about an hour and 20 minutes away from the start of the new year. Let's go back to your super chats here. Knock out a few more of them. We had Drew Johnson, and then we had Brian Becerra saying Happy New Year, Solomonster, having rum and coke. Well, I got mine right here. Thank you for the 22. Paul Hamilton, again, that 250 bomb from earlier, man. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to Victoria. Happy New Year to the entire family. I appreciate you. Peter Sanders with the 20 spot. Happy New Year. Same to you, my friend. Lord Frieza with the 499. Can't be a New Year's stream without y'all's favorite emperor. Happy New Year's. Well, Lord Frieza, I hope you and the family are doing well. Again, another frequent name that we see here on these streams all throughout the year. Glad that you can join us here tonight. I was about to read the next one, and then Boots just booted me with that size 18. You see the imprint right in my fucking face right here. A boot right to the side of the head caught me out of nowhere. A $425 super chat, BOMB, from Boots. Size 18. E. He's got big feet. You know what they say about that. Boots doesn't play around. What the fuck is going on here? I see red all at the top of the chat. We got 250. We got the professor. We got Paul Hamilton. We got Boots. Who we missing here? I think we got the trio. We got the three amigos here. Holy cow. Hey, George just subscribed. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully you will be part of all the insanity here in 2022. Bob Rouse, Happy New Year to you, my friend. But Irens, for I was distracted there by Boots, who just blew me away and easily has the lead now for the night and probably will. I doubt that's going to be top. Irens0, $9.99 super chat. Buy, sell, or rent. As the main event is about to get underway here. Buy, sell, or rent on Brock's big man, little man matches. Brock against CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and AJ Styles. I loved all three of those matches. And actually, I think the Punk match I had as my match of the year in 2013 at SummerSlam. You know, boy, that's tough. I love all three of those matches. I really do. I'm going to go with Punk, but it's close. It's close. I love all three of those matches. I got to go Punk. I'd probably buy Punk. You know, Bryan and Styles, it was so even, those two matches. They were so similar in a lot of ways. But me, I would probably go, oh boy. I'd probably go Punk, Bryan, and then Styles. But I love all three of those matches. He works great with the smaller guys who can go. He works great. Bob, again, Happy New Year to you. Nick Grasso, $9.99. What's up? Happy New Year. Just wanted to say rest in peace to a true TV legend in Betty White. And Brumakian production. Oh, my goodness gracious. Drew Johnson doing the Hulkamania, the Solo Mania $100 super chat. Look at me. I look ridiculous. But I cut a mean promo. $100 super chat. Can't wait for the phone call show. That is a pilot. You know what I may do is, that will be a feature. My plan is for that to be a feature for channel members going forward. But the first show I do, which I was hoping to do this week, and then I had so much work to do. And now I'm streaming, tonight, tomorrow night. But by next week, we'll do a pilot. I might open that up to everybody. We'll do like a big show open to the public, call-in show. We'll do super chats too if anybody wants to send any in. But when it goes to members only, it'll be, I guess, the plan is to just do them when I can. So you might have a show that's, a quick 30-minute, let's take some phone calls. And then maybe one week it'll be like an hour or 90 minutes, and that'll be a perk for channel members on YouTube. That's the plan. So, yes, it is coming, I promise. He said, when the clock hits midnight, we drink. So thank you, Bermakian, and Eddie Allen just subscribed. All right, let's turn up. We'll get back to your super chats here in a little bit. Right now, let's turn our attention to the main event. Justin Roberts, again, I may be a little delayed from you, but he's doing the ring introductions right now. Cody defending the TNT Championship against All Ego Ethan Page. Look at this guy. He's all full of fire. He is, look at Cody, he's going nuts. He's getting all fired up. He just ripped his shirt off. He thinks he's the fucking Incredible Hulk here, this guy. It looks like he's getting cheered. I can't hear anything, though. I don't know if he's getting booed, if he's getting cheered. Is that a repeat? No, it's a new one. Holy crap. Paul Hamilton just dropped another super chat, $250. You are an absolute, you must have hit the, do you have any casinos over there in Hawaii? He must have hit the craps, the slots. Happy New Year. My resolution is to avoid driving you crazy by putting, oh, that's, I'm reading Tuxedo super chat. They're going by too quickly here. Paul Hamilton said, Victoria said the Solomonster is the man, and who is the Portland pop star to disagree? Well, I wish Victoria a very happy New Year. I was very happy that photo you sent me of her holding up the shirt, the Sound Off shirt with the skull on it, the Halloween shirt. That was very cool. So apparently Jacob says the reaction is more mixed than usual. Very mixed. Skyline says 55-45. You know, keep in mind they're in Jacksonville. They're at Daly's Place. I don't know if that means, you know, Cody might have more fans there. That's their home base. But still a very mixed reaction to him. You know, Ethan Page is an interesting one because he could be a breakout single star at some point next year for AEW. And I remember when I was watching him years ago when he was in Impact and stuff, he really did. He transformed his body just physically. He really transformed himself and got himself in great shape. And, you know, he looks good. He can talk. There's really no reason that somebody like him can't go on to become a TNT champion at some point. So I would say in 2022, he's somebody to watch out for. Better as a heel than a babyface, though, I think. So Cody is working over Ego right now. And they are out on the apron. Solomonster should make a Sound Off onesie so my baby could wear it. I don't think Pro Wrestling Tees has the onesies. I'd have to go to a different supplier to have those made. I don't know about the onesie. So he kicked Cody off the apron, and here comes a very impressive flying shoulder tackle off the apron to the floor by Ethan Page. Takes down the TNT champion. Let's go, Cody. Cody sucks. Are we getting the John Cena treatment for Cody Rhodes here on this show? You know, I heard that John Cena guy did pretty well for himself. I'm sure Cody would be perfectly fine if he started getting John Cena reactions from all the AEW crowds. His back is still all, you could look at that. His back is still all fucked up from the flaming table he went through a few weeks ago. Which was very, we got like a dueling competition going on here between Paul Hamilton and the Professor. John Gotti again chiming in a $200 super chat. I see the red alert. Send Hook after this main event, he says. Send Hook. You don't want to send Hook now on a taped show. You got to save the moment for next year. It's one of my predictions for 2022 that Hook is the one to take the TNT title away from Cody. You can't give that shit away for free like that. You got to build up to it. But Professor, thank you. Professor is a big fan of Hook. I can't say I blame him. We got a lot of Hook fans here in the chat. Well, Cody has Page in the middle of the ring in the figure 4 leg lock. He is working over that leg. Tuxedo says, do we have 1,000? Anybody with 1,000? Let's not get carried away now. All right, so there at the picture-in-picture, that's the final ad break of the show. We are coming up very shortly on the top of the hour. It is almost 11 o'clock here on the East Coast. And there's the countdown on your screen. We are 1 hour and 10 minutes away from 2022. I am running dangerously low here on this Jack and Coke. Which means I may have to run downstairs in a little bit. But I have a little video, a little membership video queued up that I can play while I quickly run and refill my drink. We'll do that in a little bit. But yeah, people have asked me, am I going to be doing another prediction show? I do them every year. What I do is I look back on my predictions for the year before. Because I want to hold myself accountable. How many did I get right? How many did I get wrong? It's easy for somebody to make predictions and then they get, 95% of them wrong, which I do sometimes. And then just ignore it like it never happened. So I will review my predictions from this year and then I will have new predictions for 2022. That probably will be in a couple of weeks. So not the show this weekend, possibly the sound off next Sunday. We might do the prediction show next Sunday. This Sunday, I may as well mention it now. This Sunday on episode 737 of the podcast. Let me take that countdown off here. There we go. But we are going to be doing the top 15 matches of 2021 across WWE, NXT, AEW, New Japan. Got some New Japan matches on there. Top 15. Usually we do top 10. But we're doing top 15. And there will be other news. It's not just going to be this. So it's going to be a supersized sound-off. It may end up being a supersized sound-off on Sunday. All the latest news, fallout from day one tomorrow, and the top 15 matches of 2021. What is the number one wrestling match of the year? What do you think I picked for the number one wrestling match of the year? I'm also going to name my wrestler of the year, female wrestler of the year, moment of the year, event of the year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you guys will tune in to the first podcast of 2022 coming up on Sunday. Solomonster, take a shot. I don't have a shot. My shot glasses are downstairs. I didn't prepare for a shot. I should have. Food Hive says, who is that in the bottom left corner? I don't know. Let's see. That is Ilya Dragunov. How dare you not know who that is? That is Ilya Dragunov. And he is a fantastic professional wrestler. Boy, there's still a commercial, huh? Still a commercial. We're back. All right. We're in the home stretch here of this TNT Championship match. Ethan Page just reversed the suplex attempt by Cody and threw him halfway across the ring. We got Cody hitting the ropes. Ethan Page turns him inside out with a shoulder tackle. Dan Lambert out there cheering on Ethan Page, pounding away on the mat. We got Arn Anderson, Armed Anderson, in the other corner, trying to coach Cody. Boy, Ethan Page making like a fiery babyface comeback here. This is a little odd. Takes down Cody with a clothesline. And Cody catches him with a boot to the face, but he gets backdropped for his troubles. We are in the home stretch here, the final few minutes of this TNT Championship match. And we are a little over an hour away from ringing in 2022. So very happy that you can all join me here tonight. I know I haven't mentioned it yet, but do hit that like button because it does support the channel and the videos. And I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. The month of December, well, there's Scorpio Sky kicking away at Cody on the outside. Referee's back is turned. He doesn't see it. Arn Anderson coming over, though, trying to shove Scorpio Sky out of the way. Here's Dustin Rhodes going after Scorpio Sky. Trying to even out the odds a little bit here. Throws him over the barricade. So now Dustin brawling into the crowd with Scorpio Sky. Ethan Page is distracted by this. Cody is behind him, though. Look out. You better look out. Cody's got him, and there it is. Crossroads, and that's going to be all she wrote. 1, 2, and oh, a kick out. They gave him 1 kick out. They got to give Ethan Page a little something. So he kicked out of the Crossroads. But what I was saying is, I noticed in my YouTube stats for the month of December that a good number of videos were viewed based on recommendations. So it must have been videos in the sidebar. Whenever you like a video, it helps a lot. So it's not just a cosmetic thing. Oh, what does it really mean? It does help out the video. So takes 2 seconds. It's free. Doesn't cost you a thing. Just hit that thumbs up. I appreciate it. So Cody now has Ethan Page down. Dustin has brawled with Scorpio Sky. They're somewhere off in the crowd. They've disappeared. Into the back somewhere. Now he's got Ethan Page posted up on the top rope. I guess the match is probably over for some of you, but we're in the final moments here for me. So Cody has him up on the top rope. And Cody now springboard. But Page cuts him off with some elbows to the gut. And it looks like he's going to give him a sit-out tombstone from the top rope. Page is standing on the middle rope on the inside. Not a tombstone, but he slams him down from the middle rope on the inside. Goes for the cover, hooks the leg. Cody kicks out. What a surprise. This is my shocked face. So this match continues. I thought this match was about to end. As Bearwolf said, liking the video, that's right, it helps attract other viewers as well. So it actually does mean quite a bit. Page doing a good job of selling that knee. You know, you get kind of numb to these wrestlers when they get their knee worked over the whole match, and then all of a sudden, the last like 2, 3, 4 minutes of the match, it's like their knee is perfectly fine. You know, oh, it's the adrenaline, though. It's the adrenaline. I appreciate the fact that he's selling the knee. And as I said that now, he is no longer selling the knee. So, fuck me. Page now going for a powerbomb on Cody. Cody slips out. Off the ropes. Hits the Cody cutter. Down goes Ethan Page. Mike M in the chat realizing that Ethan Page is very good. He is very good. As I was just saying, Ethan Page is going to be one of those people in AEW to watch out for, I think, in 2022. He could break out on his own as a singles. Hey, Andy Blanco just subscribed. What's going on, Andy? Give Andy a hearty welcome here in the chat. Cody just gave a woo as he goes for the figure 4. Again, another figure 4 leg lock to that injured knee. And Ethan Page is squealing in pain. Each trying to reverse the pressure. Man, Cody's back is fucked. His back, it's going to be months before his back looks normal again. But he does it. Ethan Page reverses the pressure on Cody now, who gets to the rope. So he got the rope break. Paul Turner calls for the break. Man, I remember watching Paul Turner reffing matches in Ring of Honor back when I first started watching ROH in 2006. Jackknife cover by Ethan Page, 2 count only. This is a pretty good match. Ethan Page selling the knee again as he hobbles across the ring. Cody perches himself on the top rope. Ethan grabs his arms and yanks Cody down to the mat. That knee, though, that knee is damaged. Page is calling for the finish. Cody, though, slips out. Hits another crossroads. Oh, he's picking him up for a second one. He's going for a double. That one didn't look that great. So he's going to pick him up and give him a third one. Here it comes. Here comes the No, wait. He's going for his, not the pedigree. He's going for his, I guess, Tiger Driver. Is that what it is? The Tiger Driver 98. Spikes him right on his head, and that's all she wrote. Cody Rhodes, with the not pedigree, retains his TNT championship here in the main event of Rampage. A very good match. Very good match. And Dan Lambert is not happy. Dan Lambert probably going to be wrestling Brandy Rhodes. I'm sure you're all very excited to see that. I can't wait. We need to come up with a new name for Cody's fifth. That's going to be his new finish. Then what should Cody call that move? What should he call it? Dustin back in to hug his brother, Arn Anderson. Coming over to give him words of encouragement. We got to get some name suggestions here for Cody's new finish. So again, they're running down the card for next week. We got that match with Daniel Garcia in 2.0 against Eddie Kingston, Santana and Ortiz. And this Wednesday, AEW World Championship on the line. It is going to be Bryan Danielson, one-on-one against Hangman Adam Page. That's all she wrote for... Let me just turn this YouTube TV app off here. There we go. That's all she wrote for Rampage. So I hope you enjoyed that little watch along there. That was fun. You know, no pressure. We're all just hanging out here. So it is 11 o'clock on the East Coast. We are live here on YouTube. I am the Solomonster, and this is your New Year's Smash countdown to 2022. You know what I want you to smash? I want you to smash that like button. That's what I want you to do. Super chats are open. I will be reading them throughout the hour and beyond. We've already gotten so many bombs. I mean, it looks like a war zone in here. And I thank everybody who has contributed, everybody who has donated. You guys are unbelievable. That's all I can say. You guys are amazing here. So thank you very much. We are now inside of an hour, 58 minutes away from 2022. And I think in a second here, I may actually go get another drink. So we might be doing that here in a second. The Cody Driver. Rowdy JJ. Oh, look at this. We got a super chat here. Here it is. The Jeff Hardy. We got a whole bunch of Jeff Hardy super chats, don't we? We got the creepy $20 Jeff Hardy one. We have that one. Yeah, really. Dan Brown. Look at this. Over 800 or almost 800 viewers and not even 300 likes. Come on, guys. Boy, you guys are disappointing me. Look at this. You guys are underperforming here. It's like they're missing the button. They're reaching for the button and they're missing it. Buzzed Solomon. You think I'm buzzed after one drink and you don't know me very well. Brian Passero with the $65 Big Show Chokeslam super chat. I heard that. I heard that through my speaker. Oh, Super Hot Vector Man, what's going on? Just joining us here in the chat. Super Hot Vector Man. What a name. Holy shit. Wow. Let's just do a few more super chats here. Just a few more. And then we'll save the rest for a little bit later. Hey, the JNR. Look at this. The JNR just subscribed to the channel. David Fields dropping a $10 sticker. We got people dropping stickers in the chat. I don't know what that is. It's someone with some maracas, I guess. Some rattles or something. Hey, David, thank you. David Fields with the $10 Russo on a pole, bro. We got Suplex with the $10 super chat. Happy New Year, all. Spending New Year's at home with COVID. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Was supposed to go to Hawaii tomorrow. All these people go to Hawaii. Why don't you take me with you? I've never been to Hawaii. Was supposed to go to Hawaii tomorrow, but had to cancel for obvious reasons. Might as well bring in the new year with the Solomonster. Well, I hope that you can get refunded on that and that you can reschedule for next year. So that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. But get well soon. Hopefully it's mild and you feel otherwise okay. But that sucks right before your trip. That is no good. One of the reasons why I have not bothered booking any vacations. That and I have too much going on here. Can't leave the control center here, you know? You know what I think we need in 2022? We need a Solomonster NFT. That's what we need. That's what we need in 2022. There's that creepy Jeff Hardy. There it is. Oh, Bash. Look at this. Bash, not you too. Everybody's getting COVID here. Everybody on the WWE roster, the NXT roster. Food Hive. Whoa, he says, we watching Golden Girls all week. Rest in peace to them all. Yeah, we are all out of Golden Girls. They're all gone now. They're all gone. They were still around, you know, pretty, well, I think like even as recently as like 12 years ago, 15 years ago, they were all still alive. And then just one by one, they kind of went. And the weird thing is, Estelle Getty, who looked the oldest on the show, she played Dorothy's mother, Sophia. She was actually the youngest of all of them. But all the makeup and everything and the wig, it made her look older. And she was the first one to pass away. And she was the youngest of the bunch. Hey, Jonathan Rendon. Is it Rendon or Rendon? Either way. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let's do a few more here, and then we'll get into some of this news. As always, news. Always news breaking when I don't need it to break. Well, Bash, that's good. I'm happy that you don't have any symptoms. That's at least good. Let's keep it that way. Let's keep it that way. I had a friend who also felt fine, no problem. 3 months later, all of a sudden, he's having all these weird symptoms and shit. It's just such a weird virus. Very strange. Bob the Builder, it's 2005. You need to sign one wrestler. Bobby Lashley or Samoa Joe? Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe. Bobby Lashley, you know, at the beginning there, he was very green. He wasn't really all that good. Lashley now is great. I mean, you know, you can tell he's a lot older now, but Lashley, even in Impact, when he was doing the stuff, ironically, with Dan Lambert and American Top Team, and I was watching Impact at that time, he was great. So he just needed time to kind of mature and improve and step up his game and get more experience. Joe was already great in 2005, and that was before his body was beaten to shit. By the time he got to WWE, by the time he got to NXT, I mean, the injuries had already piled up for him. Now imagine if we would have gotten Joe 10 years earlier, or not even 10, 5, 5 or 6 years earlier when he was still in his physical prime. One Big Dingus, $6 super chat. In 2022, here already in Ireland, getting drunk currently. Love your shit, Solomonster. Keep producing the greatness. It is such good shit. Thank you, sir. Ryzen's $6 super chat. Happy New Year's from the UK. I'm here for your live commentary of Rampage. My commentary, huh? Not my best comment. Not like my House of Glory commentary. We keep it very loose here when we do these. We don't do watch-alongs very often. That was only the second one I ever did. We keep it very loose here. And Stephen Feast, $5 super chat. Will not be able to listen until later, but have a happy new year. Thanks for the great content and the weekly entertainment. Looking forward to 2022. Well, Steven, I wish you a happy new year as well. I hope your 2022 is better than your 2021. And Drew Johnson says, Solomonster, you're the GOAT. Shawn Michaels is still better than Bret Hart. I will not have any of this sacrilege here on my stream. In fact, I don't even want it on my screen. I must scroll down. The Frank, $4.99 super chat. Question, do you know if Jon Moxley is coming soon? I do not. Nobody does. I don't know what his status is. He will be ready when he is ready. That is all that I know. And Groovy Goose, if Punk had a group in AEW somewhere down the road, who would be in it? I think there could be some interesting combinations. You know, it's easier for me to imagine what a Bryan group would look like because he's already talked about possibly having a group, and he's even named Daniel Garcia as somebody he'd like to have in his group. Punk's a little bit harder. I mean, I could see Punk with somebody like I say Santana and Ortiz. I mean, that's just trading one group for another. I don't know that does them any good. I don't know. I don't know that Punk needs to be in a group. I see Bryan more than Punk as somebody who could kind of lead a group of, at least a couple of younger names and kind of mentor them. And maybe you throw a veteran in there with him. I see that more for Bryan than I do for Punk. Although I guess with Serena Deeb there, Punk was in a group with her once before. And Ray Wrighton. The beautiful Ray Wrighton. Love you, Solo. Have a happy new year. See you real soon at a Hog show. A selfie is needed. That's right. I saw Ray at the last House of Glory show, but she rushed off to go watch the show. So we didn't get a selfie, but I don't think we did. We will do that. We will do that. We have a couple of shows coming up, so hopefully at one of those shows I will see you there, and we will definitely make that happen. But I wish you a happy new year. All the best. Chris Manson, look at this guy. Channel member for 9 months. Just got home. Let's go. Made the stream. I'm ready to kiss the person that sees this. Well, thankfully, you and I are not in the same place at the same time. So we got a bunch more super chats. We will be reading those a little bit later on. The countdown right now, we're at 48 minutes. We are at 48 minutes until New Year's. All right, so here's what I think I'm going to do, because I want to get into the Big Swole stuff. I don't want it to get too late here because I want to get to the day one stuff too. I am going to talk about the Tony Khan and the Big Swole story here because that is the big story of the night. Unfortunately, we have to talk about this now. What I want to do first, though, is I want to refill this. I got to get me some more Jack and Coke. I'm sure you guys can understand. So what I'm going to do here is just play a quick video for you. Do not go anywhere. Do not dare go anywhere. I am going to be back with you in about 3 minutes. That's all I need. 3 minutes. And now I'm expecting 2 heavy Samoans to run out from somewhere and suplex me. 3 minutes. I'm going to play a little video here, grab a drink, come back, and then we will get into all of the news of the night. So you are tuned into the Solomonster New Year's Eve stream. Do not go away. We will be back here in just a little bit. Before I do, though, hang on a second here. I almost forgot to turn something off here. There we go. I'm glad I caught that. I got so much going on here on the screen here. All right. Be back in a second, guys. Don't go away. No. Oh, it's not working. Look at that. King Bling Blah with the super chat. I love that one. I had to put that one in there. I love that one. I love that one. When Owen kicked Brett's leg out of his leg. I love it. I love it. No. Turn that off. Turn that off. Turn that off. We don't want that. Now we have audio. Look at this. We have audio, weird audio playing now. Turn that down. Turn that down. I got distracted by the Brett and Owen super. It's one of my favorite super chats from the Royal Rumble in '94 when Owen kicked Brett's leg out of his leg. I love it. I love it. All right, let me just bring this up here. Hey, Corey Blake just became a Sound Off superstar. What's going on, my friend? What is going on, brother? What is going on? All right. Let me see if this works so I can quickly grab a drink here. If not, I may have to forego the drink. Let's see if this works. No? All right, we're back in business. It's all good. I just had to reset something. We're back. Wouldn't be a New Year's stream there without a little hiccup. So we're back. It's all good. Sometimes I have to close out of the program and then reopen it. So there's a little glitch in the matrix. But we are back. Mark Wan says I spilled my drink on my computer. It's impossible because there's nothing left in here. All right, I'll tell you what. We'll leave that. Fuck that. We don't need that. Let's get right into the news here because I want to make sure that I have time to talk about this. So if you are joining late, the Rampage watch along is over. I did not get into any of the news yet, but I want to talk about this whole Tony Khan Big Swole thing because Tony Khan posted a tweet in reaction to comments that Big Swole, who parted ways on November 30th with AEW. If you remember, she announced that she had agreed with AEW to mutually part ways. The two sides were not going to be working together anymore. And Fightful.com put up an article. I want to credit Fightful. I want to credit Jeremy Lambert, who wrote up this story here. And I will read you the comments that Big Swole made, because this has been trending on social media all night. And, you know, it's a shame because we just saw what I thought was actually a really good women's tag team match on Rampage tonight that we heard a lot about, you know, coming out of the tapings on Wednesday. And all of that now is going to be completely overshadowed by this nonsense here, which is what it turned into. This has turned into a situation of his own making. Here's what Big Swole said on her call-in show, Swole World. I want to get that right. That's what she calls her show, called Swole World. This is what she had to say. She talked about how the most emotional moment that she had in her time in AEW was when Kenny Omega thanked her for what she did in the Diamante feud and how it made other women in the company more comfortable to pitch ideas. I explained to Tony Khan that I did not want to so apparently, let me just stop there actually. She and Kenny Omega, and I was not aware of this, she and Kenny Omega apparently butted heads. About what? I don't know. I've heard of Kenny, you know, helping with some of the women and the Joshis backstage in AEW, so I don't know to what extent he and Swole would have been working together. But apparently they butted heads. They didn't really see eye to eye a lot, but she thought that was an important moment when Omega came over to her and made that comment about, you know, thanking her for making it more comfortable for other women to pitch ideas. I explained to Tony Khan that I did not want to re-sign because my peace was being disrupted. If anybody knows me or knows myself, if anything is disrupting your peace, it is time to let it go. It might be scared or hard, but it's time to let it go. When Kenny said that, it was the circle coming to an end because Kenny and I would bump heads sometimes throughout my time in AEW. To end it on that note felt good. It felt wonderful to end it at a place where we did not see eye to eye, but we were there. Her peace was being disrupted. Well, I'm not sure what the hell that even means, but I guess when your peace is being disrupted, it's probably best for everybody if you remove yourself from that situation. My heart just stopped being in it as the reason why I left AEW. I felt like there were a lot of things, and I told them in my exit interview, there were a lot of things that need to change. I know fans of the company don't take criticism well sometimes. I can vouch for that. Know this. This is somebody from the inside. The structure is a little off. It's fine to be loose, but I like to have a little bit more structure. Felt like the women should not have gone through everything they went through just to get on TV or get time. You're signed to this big company. You should get time. All these men are getting time, but the women were not getting anything, or you're not putting people on TV because more people are being brought in. Okay, there are more people coming in, but you don't have enough product for all of these people. Now you have all these people sitting around 2 or 3 minute matches on Dark. Does not keep me happy. Shoveling more money does not keep a person happy. We've seen time and again, especially in a place where there's not enough space, there's no writers in a sense, not everybody is comfortable writing their own things. Closed mouths do not get fed. That's exactly what the environment is. If you are shy and don't know how to write, if you are not creative, it is not going to work unless they want it to work for you. That is one of their biggest issues. And I don't think in that criticism that she levied there against AEW that she really is saying anything out of the ordinary, or that she is saying anything extraordinary. She is saying that AEW lacks structure. She is talking about the frustrations of people behind the scenes who are not getting TV time at the rate that certain other people are getting TV time on the shows. They're constantly bringing new talent in, which they are. Even Tony Khan this week acknowledged he's going to have to be more selective in who he brings into the company going forward. So I don't see anything wrong in what she said there in that paragraph. She saw a bigger issue, though, in AEW that she also said was a problem, and that is the lack of diversity. And I've gotten a couple of messages. Anybody who's tuned into the streams has seen, the occasional super chatter message from people who have commented on the same thing, who have felt that there is a lack of diversity. I think specifically they're talking about African-American talent when it comes to AEW. This is what Swole said about that. Outside of the lack of structure, their biggest issue, which is diversity. I do not beat around the bush when it comes to diversity and my people. There is no representation, truly, and when there is, it does not come across in the black community as genuine. I don't know why everybody is so afraid to accept it or say it, but it is not a good look. What happens is you have this wonderful company that treats people like family, but there is nobody that looks like me that is represented at the top. They are not helping to necessarily influence decisions, but to explain why certain slang and certain words should not be said. There is no one else who can explain our culture and experience except for us. I knew something was up when my daughter, who loves to watch wrestling, made a comment to her. Let me see here. She made a comment about, Mommy, there is nobody that looks like me on AEW. There is nobody that looks like Daddy. Daddy being Cedric Alexander. Then she started watching WWE because she saw Bianca and Big E. She saw herself represented. If that wasn't a click, then I don't know what is. I don't have an explanation. It's 2021. Why are people saying it'll take 3 years for AEW to have a black champion? This is a scripted sport. It should not take that long if you have been watching WWE for 50 plus years and you know what not to do. And then let me see here. This is the last kind of chunk of what she said here. I believe the company is making better strides than before, but a couple of things need to be fixed. You have to be able to call people out because not everything is perfect. I hope they listen to this with an open heart and not just, she's just saying this because XYZ. I genuinely want them to succeed. I love this art form. I love wrestling. And I want it to succeed, and I want people in it to succeed. I want WWE to succeed. I want wrestling to flourish, and I don't want it to be long forgotten. I want to see more diversity, not just with black people. I would love to see a Latino or Hispanic or more Asians. I feel like Asians and Indians do not get the love. They just don't. It is such a big gap. I hate the fact that I turn on the TV and it's the same stuff over and over again. There is no bad blood between Tony Khan and I, or at least there wasn't. I just don't like my peace being disrupted. So that's what Big Swole had to say. Tony Khan saw the Fightful story that I just read from linked in a tweet, and he decided to quote tweet that and post a response. And he confirmed in his tweet Fightful's earlier report, which kind of runs counter to what Big Swole is saying, that it was AEW that chose not to renew her deal. Now, she painted it as a mutual decision. Even in the statement that she put out in November, she said, we've mutually come to the agreement that we are no longer going to work together, however she phrased it. Both of those things can be true. AEW could have made, and clearly did make the decision, Tony Khan did, that they didn't want to work with her anymore, whatever their reasons were. It's also possible that Big Swole just so happened to come to the same decision and said, funny you should feel that way because I don't want to work here anymore either. Both of those things could very well be true. But, you know, when you hear her talk about this or you read her statement, a lot of people would come away from it thinking that this was her call. And Tony Khan says, no. And Fightful says no. In fact, it was an AEW decision. This is what Tony Khan had to say. That's getting him a lot of heat tonight. And I'll put let me put it up on the screen so you can see it. This is the Tony Khan tweet that you see on your screen right now. The top two AEW executives are Brown, me, and Mega being his girlfriend, I believe. I don't know if they're engaged or if it's his girlfriend. Actually, you know what? Is that his girlfriend or is that somebody else? I might have, because I've seen pictures of him and his girlfriend, but he may be, I take that back. I'm sorry. I think he's referring to somebody else. For some reason, I thought that was his girlfriend, but I believe that's another executive in the company. That's right. But the top two AEW executives are Brown, he says. Jade, Bowens, Caster, Dante, Nyla, Isaiah, and Marquen all won on TV this month. The TBS title tournament has been very diverse. I let Swole's contract expire as I felt her wrestling wasn't good enough. Hashtag AEW Rampage Street Fight tonight. Now, I thought this was a parody tweet the first time that I saw it. I had to read it a second time and confirm that I saw the little blue check mark next to his name, which, as you can see, there is a white check mark because I'm not a monster. I use dark mode. Actually, I am a Solomonster, but I use dark mode. I don't know why you would use anything but dark mode. And in dark mode, it's not a blue check, it's a white check. But I love how he's talking in this tweet about diversity and, you know, then all of a sudden I didn't think her skills were good enough. And in the next sentence, street fight tonight. The way he pivots to promote the show that is going on the air tonight is quite something else. And I have to be careful with how I answer this because I'm not the best person to talk on some of the subject matter. I'm not. There are certain things that I can comment on here because I have my opinion and my thoughts on certain things. And then when it comes to some of the things that we're talking about here, I'm not the best person to ask about that. But if Tony Khan was upset by what Big Swole had to say and disagreed with what she was saying there in those quotes, there's a right way to respond to it. This was not the right way. I was floored when I saw this tweet because I thought he handled these types of things or would handle these types of things better than he did there in that example. In fact, I would say that was about the worst possible way he could have responded to what she had to say. First of all, I don't know why he's quote tweeting Fightful. You know, if he wants to respond, Tony Khan is a fairly accessible person. He's on Busted Open Radio every single week. And he's given a lot of media interviews to a lot of different outlets and a lot of podcasts, at least one of which I'm sure would have asked him about this at some point. Yeah, the smart thing to do would have been to say, okay, I really want to address this. I want to defend myself. I want to defend my company. Or even if he didn't want to talk about it, well, I'm probably going to get asked about it at some point. And so let's prepare a statement. Let's prepare a response. Now, maybe that's me. I'm coming from a public relations perspective because that's what I do for a living. And I cringed when I saw his tweet. Whether or not you think he was right to want to respond and defend himself is really not even the point here. It's the manner in which he went about doing it was absolutely the wrong way to go about doing so. And as a PR person, I fucking cringed when I saw that tweet. I did the face palm. I said, I can't believe he chose this to be the way that he responded to it. And as you can see, this has turned into a gigantic controversy now. And this story has been trending on social media now for at least the last 4 hours. It would not have been trending if it was just the Big Swole quotes that came out. It's trending because of the way Tony Khan chose to respond to it. And he has blown this up into something far bigger than it probably would have been if he would have just kept his mouth shut and waited for a different time, not New Year's Eve, to go ahead and respond to this. The reality is Big Swole was not the best female in that division. Not even close. I'm not going to sit here and say that she's shit and she's got no redeeming qualities in the ring. But when you look at the AEW women's roster and the talent that they have brought in that women's division, she is not, even in the top 5. I'm sorry. She's not at that level. So, yes, Big Swole is not the best that they had in that AEW women's division. And Tony Khan clearly felt the same way. At the same time, though, okay, and here's the issue. At the same time, he needs to recognize, and I again, this is maybe the most important part of all this. He needs to recognize that this woman is out there addressing some very, in her mind, real problems, serious issues that bothered her, during the time that she worked in this company. These are not like frivolous issues that she's talking about here. When she's talking about diversity and things of that nature, people take that shit very seriously. It's still a very touchy subject for a lot of people. So obviously these were issues that were important to her. And if she feels that way, then I guarantee you that she is not the only person who works in that company who is still employed, who is still working in AEW, who feels the same way, and not just in the women's division. If there's one person who feels that way, then there's more. I guarantee you she's probably not the only person who feels the way that she does about a lot of these issues. And she's relaying her experiences in the company, which is all she can do, right? She's just telling us this is how she felt. You may think that she's, being overly dramatic or that she's, wrong in what she said, but that's how she feels. If she feels that there is a lack of structure behind the scenes, that is a perfectly valid critique. From the things that we have heard about AEW, it is a very different environment than WWE. Better in many ways. WWE, very formulaic, right? They have a certain way of doing things. They don't like changing things up. They have their formula. They're still making their billions. It works for them. They don't want to change from it. To the way they produce their shows, to the way they shoot certain camera angles. We saw WrestleVotes on Twitter today talking about the fact that ideas were pitched to make Day One special and, maybe even shoot the show differently and come up with creative ideas for what the set would look like and stuff. And supposedly every single one of those ideas were outright rejected and turned down. And so it's very likely when we watch Day One tomorrow night, those of us who are actually watching Day One, it's going to look like every other WWE pay-per-view, probably just the one big giant screen, no effort, no creativity put into it, right? They have their ways. They're set in their ways. The environment behind the scenes, you hear from people who say they hand you a piece of paper, you got to read this verbatim. That is not the way that it works in AEW. And I think that's very appealing for a lot of wrestlers who maybe were in WWE and said, I can't stand this and I want to go work somewhere else where I have a little more creative freedom. Okay? So she's coming at this and saying that there's no structure. It needs a little more structure. And if that's how she feels, then I think that's a perfectly valid criticism. The way that Tony Khan responded here, all this does is make it sound like he's just dismissing every single thing that this woman had to say because she dared to criticize him. And he comes off as being very, very defensive. Because he is. He's being very, very defensive. It appears that way because that's exactly what he's being. He's being very defensive to everything that she just said. Almost like he's just dismissing it outright. And then, looking at the tweet saying, oh, we've got lots of diversity, and she sucked in the ring, and hey, watch Rampage tonight. I mean, this tweet was like all over the place. So what he's done now is potentially pissed off a whole bunch of people who, some of whom at least, still work for him, still work behind the scenes in AEW. He's potentially upset the apple cart behind the scenes now in his company. Lio Rush is one of those people. Lio Rush was posting. Lio Rush has never been one to shy away from how he feels about things. Lio Rush posted on Twitter that he was very upset. I saw Lee Moriarty liked the tweet that Lio Rush posted. And then he posted another tweet later on with just one word in all caps. And he addressed it to Tony Khan. He tagged his boss. He tagged Tony Khan in the tweet with one word: apologize, in all caps. So we know at least one AEW roster member who was really pissed off. And then you have others. I think Britt Baker retweeted what Tony Khan said. I would kill if there's some kind of like AEW roster Facebook group or like a group chat on WhatsApp or something. I can only imagine the reaction that is going back and forth. I would love to be in on that conversation right now to see the diversity of opinions just among the people who work backstage in that company. So that's how Lio Rush feels. He wants Tony Khan to apologize. Tony Khan does not have to apologize for thinking that Big Swole is a terrible professional wrestler. If that is his opinion, if that is how he feels, then he is entitled to have that opinion. And apparently that's how he feels because A, he said so, and B, they chose not to renew her contract, despite whatever she may say. She may have also wanted to leave, but it wasn't, oh, I'm going to leave, and they let her go. They had no intention of re-signing her because Tony Khan didn't think she was all that good. And that's fine. If that's his opinion, that's fine, if that's how he feels. But it feels like he just threw that jab in there for what I just said. He only threw that little jab in there because, well, she said all these other things that really got under his skin, and so he's being defensive. And it came across as very juvenile. When you're in a position like he's in, you're the president, you're the head of this company, you're the leader of this company. People are looking to you. He's gotten a lot of praise from a lot of people, including the people who work in his own company, for the way that he runs things and being a more sort of welcoming environment and more free and open to ideas than it probably would be somewhere else. He's gotten a lot of praise. But we've also seen these moments where he doesn't seem to really take the criticism very well at all. And this time, this was a misfire on his part. There was no reason for him to throw that jab in there at that moment in that tweet, because it completely overshadowed whatever else he was trying to say. And he defended his company by saying, you talk about lack of diversity, and he rattles off all of these names. And he's right. I don't think it's completely fair to say that there's no diversity in AEW, or AEW has a huge diversity problem, because they have a lot of diversity on that roster. And not just with one group of people. You could talk about the Powerhouse Hobbses and the Scorpio Skies and the Dante Martins and the Lio Rushes and people like that, Private Party. But we had Jade Cargill against Thunder Rosa on the show the other day in a feature match. Jade Cargill may well be the TBS champion next week. I just got done talking about Jade Cargill on the stream on Wednesday night. This woman is a star. This woman is being groomed for greatness in this company. They take their time with her. They should, because she's not ready yet. She's still very green. She's still very inexperienced. But she's being groomed for much bigger things. She may be the TBS champion in less than a week. The Lucha Bros have been a feature attraction almost since day one in this company. They are the AEW Tag Team Champions. Talks about Japanese talent and Indian talent. I can't speak to the Indian talent, but my God, how many Joshis have we seen come over and work in AEW? And we've seen Riho, and we've seen Hikaru Shida, who had a year as the AEW Women's Champion. And she got all kinds of criticism because supposedly she's friendly with Kenny Omega and people making all kinds of disgusting remarks about her, instead of just, seeing her for what she is. She's a very good professional wrestler. So this whole thing where there's a huge diversity problem in AEW, I can understand Tony Khan wanting to push back on that if he feels like that's unfair. There actually is quite a bit of diversity in AEW. It sounds like her issue is more in the fact that you don't have a black world champion right now, or you don't have a black TNT champion. You don't have representation at the top level, which at the moment they don't. You've got Hangman Page as the world champion. You've got Cody Rhodes again as the TNT champion. There are only so many spots. Those spots are going to go to the people who are the stars, or the people who are being groomed to become the stars, like they're doing with Jade right now in the women's division. But if that's how she feels, then she's entitled to that. But I also don't think it's fair to say that there's no diversity in AEW. I think that's bullshit. There's actually a lot of diversity in AEW. If your issue is the fact that there are no African Americans at the top tier level in the company, then fine. Then say that. Don't say there's no diversity in AEW, because that's bullshit. There actually is. There may not be enough of it to your liking. But to say that there's none, or there's very little of it, I think is nonsense. And he's right to want to correct that if that's how he feels. The way he went about doing it, though, was all wrong. And the whole story now is going to be about him throwing that jab in there about her being a bad wrestler. And so far, it's blown up in his face. Everybody's always giving him his flowers and blowing smoke at Tony Khan. All of a sudden, the tide has turned. As we count down to 2022 here, this is not the way that he wanted to end his year and go into the new year. Now he may have to apologize this week. If the heat becomes that great, sometimes when you're the president and you're the leader of the company, you got to bite the bullet and do what's right for the company. The last thing you want is a rebellion among members of your roster. You need to let them know. Look, I went about this all wrong. It was wrong of me to say what I said as far as insulting her like that. However, I'm proud of the job that we've done. I mean, there's a way, again, however you phrase it, there's a way to go about reacting to those criticisms. He went about it the wrong way. Pure and simple. And he's getting a lot of heat for it now, and deservedly so. Because it was a ridiculous way for him to respond to what she said. That tweet was an unforced error. It was completely unnecessary. He didn't have to say a fucking thing. He could have kept his mouth shut until next week and addressed it in a different forum. So those are my thoughts on this whole fiasco here. It's ridiculous that this even happened. But again, you don't want to get into a situation where you're telling somebody who worked for your company who feels a certain way about the way certain people are represented, you're wrong to feel that way. She can feel however she wants to feel. And Tony Khan is within his rights to say, I think you're wrong. On the diversity question, could we do better? Could always do better. But don't say that they don't have any diversity at all, because that's an insult to all these other people that they've pushed. What are they, chopped liver? Do they not mean anything? Right? I mean, come on. And they have stars that are even on the rise in AEW that have gotten television time who are still very young. But, you know, we talk about Hook and Daniel Garcia and people like that. But you've got Dante Martin. You've got Lee Johnson. You've got Lee Moriarty. You know, they have people at that level, too, who are working their way up. Her issue seems to be with the people at the top level. And I also wonder, by the way, if there's some jealousy there when it comes to Jade. I think that might be part of the issue, too. You know, and I can understand if there's jealousy for Jade Cargill, because she came in with no experience and she's being pushed, you know, in the spot that she's being pushed in. There's going to probably be some jealousy on the part of some of the women in that division. I wonder if some of that plays into it as well. But anyway, that's my piece. I'll marinate on this a little bit more. I'm sure I'll talk a little bit more about this on Sunday, and we'll get into it a little more there. But I couldn't not address it because it's the big story of the night. And I am never going to sit here and say that somebody who feels a certain way, or they're not being, you know, treated a certain way, behind the scenes, you're wrong to feel that way. She can feel that way if she wants to. You don't tell her that you're wrong to feel that way. But Tony Khan responding in the way he did was absolutely just a total blunder on his part. And he's getting heat for it now. I cringed when I saw that. I couldn't believe, I thought it was a parody tweet. I legitimately thought it was a parody tweet when I first saw it. Anyway, enough about that. No more of that. 15 minutes. Look at this. We got 15 minutes left. And finally, we could put this year behind us once and for all. 15 minutes before midnight here on the East Coast, wherever you may be. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are having a great night. If it is already 2022 where you are, Happy New Year. I know in some parts of the world it is already the new year. Let's go and catch up with your Super Chats. Because I know I am behind here. Was that Angel? Angel just subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Angel. Thank you very much. The Frank. We already talked about the Frank. We talked about Groovy Goose. We go to Chauncey Curry with the $5 Super Chat. You just knew that 2021 was not going to end without crazy wrestling controversy or celebrity death. Rest in peace, Betty White. Drew Johnson, Solomonster, give me a Willow. Give me a Willow. Willow. I thought we were going to get Willow in WWE. Boy, was I wrong about that. Colin C., $20 Super Chat. He wants to wish everybody a very happy and safe New Year's. Looking forward to greater and happier blessings for us all. Happy New Year to you too, Colin. Ray Wrighton, rest in peace, Betty White. I was glad to see, I was glad to at least see her getting a lot of love on social media, and it was like breaking news on all the major news stations. That woman was a television institution. Scott Woodford, Vince Russo to NXT USA Network wants him. Yeah, no. NSW nonstop. Thank you. Hey, Scott, Happy New Year to you too. You know, I met Scott on the Jericho Cruise last year. NSW Nonstop Wrestling with the $10 Super Chat. Showing some love. Thank you, NSW. We have Devin from New Jersey 2000. Do you think Triple H could have stopped Dynamite? Or was AEW's dominance on Wednesday night inevitable, no matter who was in charge? I think AEW was going to rise regardless. It might have taken them a little bit longer had he put up a better fight than he did. But I think it was inevitable. I think people are they get frustrated working in WWE. They want to go somewhere else. When you have all of that talent that suddenly is available, they're going to go somewhere. And you're going to end up with what we have now in AEW. So I think it was inevitable. Keyshawn Johnson. Talk about, say, a controversial figure. $9.99 Super Chat, United States Marine, watching your stream from Camp Pendleton, California. I absolutely love what you were doing, and I'm so grateful for everything you do in the wrestling industry. Well, Keyshawn, thank you very much. All the way from Camp Pendleton. How about that? Well, so he's got a little while before it turns to midnight over there on the West Coast. But I wish you a happy New Year, Keyshawn, and stay safe. Professor John Gotti from earlier dropping that $300 bomb. Here's hoping for a positive year for everybody. The family appreciates the excellent content. Rizzo, we all need to find out if Professor Gotti's job is hiring. Happy New Year. Thank you for cheering me up after the Michigan game. Did they lose? I was kind of paying attention beforehand. I don't know how things ended with Michigan. I take it did not end well. Boots, my God, Boots. I'm trying to think if Boots, as we count down these last 10 or 11 minutes here, I think Boots probably, it has to be the record, right? I mean, it has to be for the year, for a single Super Chat. Wow. Boots, thank you. Paul Heyman. What happened to Anthony Ogogo? Seriously, where did he Ogogo? Hopefully he can still Ogogo in the ring. Wouldn't be a New Year's stream without hearing one last time from Paul Heyman. Anthony Ogogo went back to the UK. He had eye surgery. He's had eye problems for a number of years, going back to his days as a boxer. And then I know he got into some Twitter controversy recently. He mouthed off to somebody and said something that got him in trouble. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, he got a little bit of heat behind the scenes in AEW for a comment he made. Drew Johnson with the $100 bomb. Can't wait for the phone call show. That was from earlier. We'll be doing that very soon. Austin, New Yorkers with your subpar pizza and 1 hour ahead time zone. Happy New Year, Solomonster from Illinois. I used to take more offense to the pizza insults, but since I can't have pizza anymore, sound off. Sound off all you want. Paul Hamilton with the 250 from earlier. Thank you, sir. Tuxedo T Servo. My resolution is to avoid driving you crazy by putting quotes in super chats. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. You can start giving me gray hairs here. Gray hairs mixed into the blonde. We don't need that. Actually, they're probably already in there, but because I'm blonde, you can't see them. Professor John Gotti, that was the one I read from earlier. He chimed in. Food Hive. Very happy to hear some love in the crowd for Cody tonight. Nick Grosso, are you going to review New Year's Evil on the channel? And when do you think they will do AJ Styles against Grayson Waller? Perhaps at day one. I was of the impression they're doing it at New Year's Evil. I believe they're having some kind of confrontation at New Year's Evil. I think it's a match. So probably on Tuesday. Yes, I am going to go live after New Year's Evil. So I'm streaming tomorrow night for day one. And then on Tuesday night for New Year's Evil. I'll have some kind of review up for Wrestle Kingdom. We got Wrestle Kingdom next week. Nights 1 and 2. I don't know when. I don't know if it'll be live or I may just record something, but I'll have some kind of Wrestle Kingdom review up for the first 2 nights as well. So it's going to be a very busy week next week. Adam with the $5. What do you think about Tony Khan's comments? We just talked about that. Dr. NXT Scorpio. Sorry, Okada, but Solomonster tonight is the Rainmaker. Happy New Year, everyone. The Rainmaker. I can't make my camera zoom out. I cannot make my camera zoom out. Rowdy JJ in the chat says Grayson Waller is mid. Bearwolf says someone got stabbed in the neck on my street and the cops are everywhere. What neighborhood do you live in? Well, aren't you happy you're indoors watching me? You're not outside getting stabbed in the neck. I hope that person is okay. Drew Johnson, thank you for the 5. Brian Pissarro with the $40 super chat. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pour something else. Pour a little something else here, since I can't get downstairs to the Jack and Coke. We'll have to make do with what we got here. We got a substitute. I won't say what it is, but it is not champagne. But cheers. Cheers to you all. Get your drinks ready because we're only a few minutes away. Where are we at here? I got to bring up the countdown. We got a few minutes. We're getting close. We're getting close. We are getting close. Sean Waters, going into 2022, will mark 9 years as a Sound Off listener. Thank you for everything. Why did Taz's push end so suddenly after debuting at MSG at the Royal Rumble in 2000? Just rewatched the pay-per-view and always wondered what happened. That was a great debut, too. He's talked about this. There was a spot in the match with Kurt where he gave him a suplex. And Kurt either landed on his head or almost landed on his head. And I don't even know that it was his fault. But in WWE, you get heat for all kinds of stupid shit. And so he got a lot of heat. And I think Bruce Pritchard even talked about this on one of his podcasts. So Taz got heat on his very first night because of a suplex in a match that he did. And I think that was the beginning of the end for Taz. That was kind of the beginning of his downfall there. The moral of the story is don't get heat. He was, yeah, as Tim said, he was accused of being stiff. Hey, Mr. J, I see you in the chat. What's going on? What's going on, Mr. J? Dr. NXT Scorpio, imagine Cody winning with a roll-up to upset the fans. Lithium X93, $7 super chat. Thank you, sir. Zane Mian, $26. That's got to be a conversion from a different currency. $26.52. Super chat. Fan from the UK, have been listening to you pretty much every week for around 8 years. All throughout my 20s. Thanks for all the great content over the years and have a great 2022. Thank you, sir. I hope you also, Zane, have a wonderful year, and thank you for sticking with me for so long. I love hearing that. Brian Pissarro with the $65. That was the Big Show Chokeslam super chat. David Fields, thank you. Dorenzo, Cody should name his finish the I got a bigger you know what. Oz and Glorious, rest in peace, Betty White. Happy New Year, Solomonster. Thank you for being a friend. And Anti-M Bishop, $20 super chat. I discovered Solomonster in 2020. Very happy I did. Thank you for making 2021 a bit bearable this year. You are the GOAT. Happy New Year, and the ladies tag team match should have gone on last. All the best. Yeah, the Cody match was pretty good too, but I think you give it to the women tonight. I agree. Normally when a championship is on the line, I would say, you put it in there in the main event spot, but the women, if ever they deserved it, I think tonight would have been that night. All right, well, we're 3 minutes away. We're getting down here to the nitty-gritty, guys. We are getting down to the nitty-gritty. Almost time. 3 minutes and 28 seconds. Should probably get my hat on, right? We got more of your messages coming in. I will read all of them. Oh boy, Tuxedo says his fourth go-around with Jack Fire. Well, don't, be careful. I don't want you to get alcohol poisoning. I need you awake for the day one stream tomorrow night. What am I doing? I'm putting this on. I don't even know what I'm doing. I think I drank too much. There we go. How was I trying to put that hat on? Jesus. All right. I hear the pyro going off outside. I don't know if you can hear the booms. There is pyro, loud pyro going on, or gunshots going on outside my window right now. Everybody getting very excited as we are 2 minutes and change away from the new year. It is almost day one. Bust my chops. You're right. It is almost day one. I need hat tutorials. Yeah, we got it. We got it. There we go. Happy New Year. Oh, 2 minutes away. We got the 2 minute warning here. So I'll wait. I will wait until after midnight, and then I'll run through these day one predictions. Again, I did change one. I changed one prediction from when I went over them on the show on Sunday. I'll let you try to guess which one it was. Yeah, everyone's got different times. Yeah, this is the time we're going by here. We got 1 minute and 45 seconds to go until the new year begins, so. Boy, it's... that is loud. Hey, Johnny A., Happy New Year to you too, man. It sounds like balloons popping. You know, it's been 50 degrees outside here in New York. It's almost January. And it has been unseasonably warm. Yeah, Armed Anderson is apparently on the, he's on the prowl outside. Oh my goodness. Well, while we have this quick minute left, let me just say real quick that I want to thank everybody, whether they are here on the stream tonight, or especially you though, because you are here with me. But even the people who are going to listen on the download, everybody who has supported me and what I do and my content all throughout the year, the success of this show, it's gotten even bigger, and that would not have been possible without you. And whether you're donating or going to the affiliate links, or even if you're just watching and sharing and liking, subscribing, whatever it may be, thank you. I wish you all nothing but the best, a very happy and healthy 2022. We are counting down now. We are 20 seconds away. We are 20 seconds away. Here we are from the new year. And here we go. We are down to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! It is officially 2022, and a very happy new year to each and every single one of you. We've got confetti, we've got pyro, we've got music, we've got it all here on the stream. I salute all of you. Happy New Year. It's the spot. Happy New Year, everybody. Oh, I should put my glasses on. Although I guess these are old now. These are the 2021 glasses. There we go. There we go. Whoa. Hey, they're really shooting them off outside. All right. To hell with 2021. We put these away. All right. Now it's official. Now it's a fucking party here on the stream. Look at this. Look at all the insanity in the chat. Boots! Remember, for 10 months, Happy New Year to Boots. Play Andrew WK. There's a lot of music I would love to play, and I can't because it's YouTube. So this is as good as it's gonna get right now. We gotta go with the New Year's music, you know? You got to go with the New Year's music. All right. Take those fireworks off. Back to business. You know, I have to say that 2022 feels an awful lot like 2021 so far. All right. Well, we made it. We made it to the other side, guys. We've made it. We are 2 hours into this stream. And play Bad Bunny? No. You know, Bad Bunny was in the new season of the final season of Narcos Mexico. Didn't have a very big role, but he was fine. He was fine. I don't know if he's done any other acting work, but he's been fine. All righty. Let me take another swig here before we move on, because we're not done yet. Hey, Granny, hell yeah. Happy New Year to you too, my friend. Thank you for being a Sound Off Superstar, one of our channel members here on YouTube. Rocking out. There's Beavis. Don't I look like Beavis? Drew Johnson. I see it's coming in. I see it. I saw the red. Dropping a $100 super chat. That is the first big bomb of 2022. Look at that. Dropping the first bomb of the new year here on the stream. There it is. Well, let me tell you something, Brother Jack, dude. Monster Mania. Finish the bottle, Solomonster. Life is short. what I have here, I just poured the rest of it into the mug. So I will be finishing this here in a second. Oh boy. Yeah, Ozark final season, January 21st, right? I believe January 21st. 20 days. Although I think somebody told me I think they're doing that shit where they cut it into 2 parts. So, but this is the 4th and final season for Ozark. So, tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, tonight, later tonight, is the WWE Day One pay-per-view from Atlanta, Georgia. I am going to be live with you on YouTube tomorrow night. As soon as the pay-per-view is over, there will be a Day One review. And there you see Roman Reigns. Will he still be the Universal Champion when the night is over? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. What I want to do here, though, is just go through my predictions for tomorrow night. There I go again. Tonight. My predictions for tonight. They added a match, which they only added this in the last 24 hours or so. Sheamus and Ridge Holland are going to be taking on Cesaro and Rick O'Shea on the kickoff show. I think that this is a win for Sheamus and for Ridge Holland, or it should be. And it should be Ridge Holland getting his moment to look dominant, getting a win over Ricochet. So I think the heels go over. They have not formally announced an Intercontinental title match. I thought they were going to add it at the last minute, and they have not. So I guess we're not getting Sami Zayn against Shinsuke Nakamura on this show. When that match happens, I do think that Zayn is going to win the championship, but it doesn't look like it's happening at Day One. Randy Orton and Matt Riddle are going to defend their Raw Tag Team titles against the winners of the RK Bronament, as they called it. The Bronament, which is... We've got the Street Profits. Boy, these fireworks are distracting me here. I should put my own back up on the screen here. Hold on a second. There we go. Got fireworks out there. We got fireworks here. So the Street Profits are back. Montez Ford was out. I don't know why, but he's back now. I don't think it changes anything. I think Orton and Riddle are going to retain their titles as they should. They're still on a good roll. I don't think it's time yet for them to drop those belts. Hey, Drew Johnson dropping $100 again. Solomonster is the GOAT. I am not the GOAT. You are. Look at you. Tonight, Drew is the GOAT. Drew is on a roll. Drew is the maniac tonight with these super chats. Holy crap. The Usos, who have been 3-time losers on TV, in recent weeks, they are going to defend their SmackDown Tag Team titles against the New Day. I have seen this match many times, and most of the time they always have very good matches, but at some point you just say enough already. But they don't have too many other teams at the moment on that show, and so this is what we end up with. Seems premature for the Usos to drop the belts. I don't really see any reason for them to. You know, you got Xavier Woods walking around, King Woods. He's doing the King Woods thing. So I think the Usos remain tag team champions. Drew McIntyre against Madcap Moss. Some people think I'm crazy, but I'm picking Madcap Moss to win the match because I almost think it's too obvious that Drew is going to win. And I think that we are going to get Drew McIntyre against Happy Corbin. And so to put some heat maybe on, Corbin before he meets Drew, he helps Madcap pick up the win, or maybe Drew, he gets disqualified, he gets counted out, whatever it might be. I think Madcap Moss is going to end up getting the win. Maybe it's one of those disqualified for kicking too much ass finishes that we've seen them do before. I don't know, but I'm going with Madcap. I can't believe I'm picking a guy named Madcap to win, but there it is. I'll do it like the guy does it in the NXT 2.0 commercial. Yeah, that's how it is. I'm picking Madcap. And then we come to The Miz. One-on-one against The Edge at Day One. I had picked Edge to win this match. And then I saw the segment on Raw Monday night, the renewal of the wedding vows between Miz and Maurice. And Edge comes out. And by the way, credit to Edge wearing the Slayer t-shirt. I thought that was very cool. Edge comes out and taunts them, and then we hear the Brood's music play, and Edge slowly backs out of the ring. And you can't call it a bloodbath anymore. They're not bloodbaths. It's no longer this red liquid or red paint that comes down from the ceiling, because a bloodbath is not PG. So they call it a brood bath. Although on Monday, they didn't even call it that. They called it, what'd they call it? Like oil or something. It's basically what it looks like. It looks like an oil slick falls from the ceiling. This black goo falls and drops on Miz and Maurice. We've seen them do this a whole bunch of times. Miz and Maurice, though, were left looking like the fools. And still no mention or sign of Beth Phoenix, which you know has to be coming, especially since she has left NXT. So I am going to change my prediction. This is the only prediction that I am changing from what I said on Sunday. And I think The Miz is going to win, because I think Miz wins. And that then, and probably with help from Maurice, and that then sets up the Beth Phoenix return for them to do the mixed tag match. And the only question is, when do they do the mixed tag? I just think, how do you keep this interesting for another 3 months to get to WrestleMania? I almost think you kind of have to do it at the Royal Rumble at the end of the month. But I think it's inevitable. We're going to get that mixed tag match. So the oil spill, the red viscous liquid, fluid bath, really? That is a horrible image. So I am picking Miz. I am changing my prediction to Miz beating Edge. Becky Lynch defends her Raw Women's Championship against Liv Morgan. The stars seem to be all aligned for Liv Morgan to take the title. They have done everything on TV to make you want to see Liv Morgan beat this woman and take that championship. Liv even extended an invitation to Angry Liv Girl from TV a few weeks ago, who they put on camera, and she had the big pouty face. They said that they found her, and Liv wanted to invite her to Day One. And if they actually find this girl and her family, it makes me think, like, if you're going to invite this girl to come to the show and then let her down again, that's like child abuse. It almost makes me think that we are going to get a title change. But I think it's the wrong move to make. And I think Becky Lynch is going to retain. I think Becky Lynch should retain. Liv has improved. She's gotten better. But the time is not right for Becky Lynch. The time is right for Liv Morgan. It's not right for Becky Lynch. And it's Becky Lynch who's going to go to WrestleMania and defend that championship, not Liv Morgan. Because it should be Becky Lynch against Bianca Belair. That's the story. Don't interfere with the story. Becky should win this match. Big E defends the WWE Championship in a fatal four-way against Seth Rollins if he's ready to come back. He tweeted the other day that apparently he has COVID. So assuming it clears his system by tomorrow, he'll be there. But if not, then he won't be in the match. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley. I think Owens is going to be the one taking the losing fall. I think Big E retains the WWE title. I don't think he goes into WrestleMania as the champion, but I do think he leaves Day One with the title. And I think with Rollins not being the one to take the losing fall, he's got that opening to say, look, I didn't get beaten. I didn't get pinned. And by the way, I won a championship opportunity that should have been mine and mine alone. And all these other people got added. And so he'll end up getting his one-on-one match at the Royal Rumble with Big E. And then we have Roman Reigns defending the Universal title against Brock Lesnar. This is the Paul Heyman show. What will Paul Heyman do? Will Paul Heyman be there? And if so, who is he going to side with? Is he going to come out with anybody? Is he going to come out at the end of the match? You know, who's he going to help? It's all about Paul Heyman and where his allegiance lies in this match. Is he going to help Brock Lesnar? Is it all a big ruse? I believe it is. I believe it's all a big swerve. I think he's going to help Roman Reigns retain the Universal Championship and reveal that he is still part of the bloodline. That is how I see things playing out. I personally, and I've talked about wanting to see Lesnar and Lashley now for years. I just think it's a match that, if the match ever actually happens at this point, I'm not even sure how good it would be, but it's a match that should have happened a long time ago. And I'm kind of puzzled why it hasn't, frankly. But part of me would love to see Bobby Lashley, if he loses in the Fatal 4-Way, just go ballistic and come out and cost Brock Lesnar the championship in the main event, just because he's lost his mind and, you know, he didn't win his title, and he's wanted the match with Brock for years. So if anybody's going to go after it, it's going to be Lashley. He cost Brock the title in the main event, and that then builds to a Bobby Lashley Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania. I don't actually think it's going to work out that way. I think we're going to get Lashley against Omos. I think Lashley's probably splitting away from MVP and going babyface, and I think he will likely face Omos at WrestleMania, which sounds awful. And I think it's very likely that Lesnar is going to go right back to the WrestleMania main event with Roman again, and they may stick Drew McIntyre in there and make it a triple threat. That's how I see things playing out realistically. That is the day one lineup for tomorrow night. And again, I will be live with you on YouTube. As soon as the pay-per-view goes off the air, you come right back here, and we will go and dissect the entire show from top to bottom. And that will be our first pay-per-view of the new year. So there you go. And also, for those of you who are tuning in late, this weekend, episode 737 of The Sound Off, among all the other news that we have to get into and the predictions for NXT TakeOver, I'm still calling it TakeOver, NXT New Year's Evil, I will be revealing my list of the top 15, ranking the top 15 wrestling matches of 2021, talking about who I think was the wrestler of the year, male, female, overall wrestler of the year, show of the year. So it's going to be a good show. First sound off of 2022 coming up on Sunday. That's episode 737. Happy New Year, guys. This has been fun. We're not done yet, but I just felt like saying that. This has been fun. I've enjoyed, second year in a row I've spent my New Year's with you guys. Last year, everything was locked down. I mean, there was basically no New Year's last year. Even the ball drop in Times Square was, I think, virtual. So I said, why not spend New Year's with you? And it was so much fun, I decided to bring it back and do it all over again this year. And I'm glad I did. So let's get back to your comments and your questions. We have a lot of super chats tonight. I cannot thank you guys enough. This has been an incredible night so far, and it's not even over yet. Tanya, $4.99 super chat, says, Happy New Year. Rob Reed with the $5 says, Cody should call the Tiger Driver Purebred. That's an interesting name. Closing in, by the way, on 500 likes. So hit that thumbs up if you have not already done so. Paul Heyman. What if Vince wanted to repackage Toni Storm as Tony the Tiger, and she would come to the ring with a box of Frosted Flakes saying WWE is great? What if? What if indeed? Michael Cuomo, $1.99. I just now had to give a coworker a COVID test. Did you give them one of your at-home tests, or you actually stuck the swab up their nose and gave them the brain swab? Why are you giving a coworker a COVID test? Unless you are licensed to administer COVID tests. Joseph Brooks, $4.99, whose heel turn was more justifiable, not better, but more justifiable? Bret Hart's in 97 or Hollywood Rock's birth? Bret Hart in 97. The guy kept getting screwed. He was getting fucked over left and right. Mostly by Shawn Michaels and Sid. He was getting screwed over by everybody. So I think Bret was more than justified. He saw the fans cheering the anti-heroes like Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels. All these dumb Americans, right? That's why all the fans in Canada and in Germany and the UK, all these places, they respected Bret for the hero that he was, but not us here in America. Now, we have to be special. Powerful one. Spending New Year's with the family. Just dropping by to say Happy New Year to you and everybody in the chat. Here is to a great 2022. Eddie A. All I got to say is that women's street fight was wild. Seth Turk. In honor of the great Betty White and the world's best podcaster. For anyone interested, LeVar Burton is scheduled to be the Grand Marshal in tomorrow's Rose Parade. LeVar Burton would have made a great Jeopardy host. That's too bad. King Bling Blah, who makes AEW debut on TBS? Rotunda or Gargano? Neither. I think that Brody King. I think Brody King will make his debut on Wednesday. Six Williams. My grandmother just died. And listening to your podcast is the only thing that makes me feel better at this point. Keep up the good work. I am very depressed. She loved your podcast. I'm very sorry to hear that, Six. That sucks. That is not the way that you should be starting your new year. I was very close with my grandmother on my mother's side. Very close. And she died in 2000. So she's been gone for over 20 years. And you know, not having any grandparents at all, it sucks. But you know, if you are close to your grandparents, you know, losing a grandparent is shitty. There's no other way to say it. You know, it sucks. So I'm thinking about you. I am sending my condolences to you and the family. I hope that things get better for you. I'm very sorry to hear that. Elpress Cat, buy or sell Triple H's reign of terror in WWE or Jeff Jarrett's reign of terror in TNA. Jarrett, you know, I wasn't really watching all of his reign of terror there in a while. Or, for you know, in TNA when he was doing that, I wasn't really watching all of his stuff. Triple H's reign of terror on Raw, I was very much aware of that and not a fan of how some of it progressed. He was a very good heel. I'm not taking that away from him, but yeah, those were dark days for Monday Night Raw. Condolences to you as well. Bust My Chops also just lost his grandmother. Food Hive, $9.99 super chat. Now I defend AEW all the time on the diversity claims as I see my people represented that I love. Swole felt behind the scenes we needed more representation, and that is a fair statement. Like I said, her critiques about how things are behind the scenes, she's behind the scenes, not me. And so if she experienced certain things and saw certain things, then she is well within her rights to say, look, I think that AEW can use a little bit of work in this area or in that area. I think that's a perfectly legitimate claim. I don't have any issue with that. Terry Allen Jr., will you watch the WWE 2K22 reveal? I mean, what's the point in watching? I mean, how long could that roster reveal be? 3 minutes long? They're going to have 6 people on the fucking roster. Everybody they probably already put in the game is gone. They quit. They're fired. How long could this reveal be? Be 3 minutes long. Oh my God, it's Winky with the $4 super chat. Happy 420 from Oregon. The Oregon Trail. Jose Leanos, Happy New Year solo from Juarez, Mexico. Hope everyone stays safe out there tonight. Juan Ocampo, Happy New Year's. At least you don't look like a bootleg Conan O'Brien with the mug tonight. Solo Camarato a go-go. And we get one last Orton pose. I gave you one the other day. I gave you the Orton pose the other day on the stream. Psycho Jet Black, $2 super chat. You should do a stream with Aaron Rift and no DQ. Well, Aaron does his own thing, right? He's always doing the streams on his channel, doing the deal. I wish him a happy new year as well, and all the folks over at No DQ. Zombified Guitarist with the $5 super chat. Minus 13 below in Montana, celebrating the New Year's under the sheets tonight. Stay frosty, everybody. You know, it's unseasonably warm here in New York. I will take 51 over minus 13 any day of the week. Magician Sapphire, sometimes less is more, especially when it comes to social media. Tony should have stopped at diverse in his tweet. You know, if Tony would have cut the tweet off right there, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. This wouldn't even be a thing. It would be a story, and it would be, you know, kind of a debate that people could have, but it wouldn't be this big mess that it's turned into. And that was the real kind of main crux of what I was talking about before, is that he needs to be smarter than that as the president and the head of that company. You know, I have to say this. For all the things that Tony Khan has done right, and wrestling is far better for having AEW around than not. And even if you're not an AEW fan and you don't believe that, trust me, it's the truth. Much better for having AEW around than not. Having said that, I tried to imagine Vince McMahon doing something similar, going on Twitter and reacting. Think of all the shit that people say on social media about Vince McMahon. A lot of it justified, by the way. A lot of it is correct. But think of all the grief that this man gets and all the shit that people say about him and his show and his product, right? And the golden egg and all the bullshit with him. I can never in a million years imagine Vince McMahon going on Twitter, which I guess he wouldn't be doing it anyway, because I don't believe for a second that Vince McMahon actually tweets himself. I don't buy that for a second. He has somebody doing it for him. Especially when he puts these tweets up and he has to tag a whole bunch of different people, or if he's talking about like a certain promotion they're doing and there's hashtags and stuff. There ain't no fucking way that Vince McMahon is sitting there and he's tagging this person and putting hashtag this and hashtag that. There ain't no way. So he don't tweet himself. I don't buy that for a second. But let's say that he did. Let's say that he did. You would never in a million years see Vince McMahon tweet something like that. Well, number one, he probably wouldn't care enough to even comment on it. He would just laugh it off and go about his business. But he would never do that, because he knows that no matter what he says, all it does is draw attention to it, but it's a no-win situation. Nothing good can come from a tweet like that. He would never do anything like that, never in a million years. The one time Tony Khan should have subscribed to the Vince McMahon school of social media and should have taken a pause before he responded. Magician Sapphire, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Sometimes less is indeed more. Hulkling93, appreciate your piece on the TK Swole situation. Swole is not the best, but that was a public burial. If OC shows up at Hog, would you be able to suppress your urge from hitting him with a chair? Well, you know, I have called him the cowardly Cassidy for ducking me on that cruise ship last year. I was there, he wasn't. This year, he was there, I wasn't. But I think I don't need to resort to violence. I think him and I are okay. He's a coward, but he and I are okay. Derek Fleming Jr., Happy New Year. Nice shirt, by the way. Thank you. Got to dress up a little bit for the occasion, you know. Frankie Mattis, $4.99 super chat. Happy New Year, Solomonster. Thanks for being a voice of reason in pro wrestling. Too bad a lot of wrestling fans ruin it for everybody. Drew Johnson, that Hundy bomb from earlier. Happy New Year. Groovy Goose, here's to a groovy 2022. Happy New Year. Don Juan, asking about the music. I think somebody in the chat answered him already. Brock Benningfield, I've been listening for years. You're the best and always the first podcast I listen to. Thanks for all of your content. GCC 305, $5 super chat. Hey, Solomonster, Happy New Year. Here at work, listening to your stream to help me pass the time. Been here since 9. I get off at 7 a.m. Thank you. Wow. That's a long time. Well, I'm happy that I could at least help you pass some of the time. Get some music on here. Drew Johnson, Boy, you see, we've seen Drew's name pop up on this list a lot tonight. Tuxedo T. Servo. Kid in from college, so can't make day one stream, but here's to a good show. Magician Sapphire, Happy New Year. Keep on doing that voodoo that you do so well. Well, I'll try. Drew Johnson says, give me a Drew is the GOAT to celebrate the new year. Drew is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. Chris Manson, I used to cry when my dad chopped onions. Onions was a good dog. I miss him. Quentus Brown, Happy New Year, Solomonster. Thank you for everything you do for the IWC. Joseph Brooks, buy or sell the first Elimination Chamber or 2017? First one. Turtlehead, do you think the 2020 civil unrest caused WWE to change the creative direction of Retribution? I don't want to believe they planned for it to suck. I believe if it wasn't for all of the unrest that was going on, there never would have been a Retribution. I think they were trying to capitalize on it. And it failed because their creative is fucking terrible. That's why it failed. M. Mills, is that Michelle? I think that might be Michelle Mills. Happy New Year, wishing you all the best in 2022. Michelle, that is Michelle. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Happy New Year to you. Mo, $15 super chat. Just rewatched Ozark for preparation for season 4, and I believe that Wendy is the female version of Walter White. They both have power-hungry personalities. Do you agree or disagree? She's definitely more Walter than Skyler. I agree. And finally, this is the last one, I believe. Tim B, the lack of diversity, quote unquote, in AEW reminds me of the lack of diversity in baseball. It is not the diversity they want, and they should be honest with it. So that is from Tim B. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Whew. There's a lot of messages. Vince loves the superhero gimmick too much to change. He does have a thing for superhero gimmicks. Remember when he wanted to turn Pac or Adrian Neville into Mighty Mouse? He does have a thing for superheroes. Wrestle Kingdom predictions. I might do that on the show on Sunday. I'll probably run down the at least the key matches and give some predictions on Sunday. So we'll try to squeeze that in there on 737. Yeah, RDSX says this was fun. Let's do it again next year. That's the plan. I'd love to make this, you know, an annual thing if possible, right? Hang out on the stream. Do it up even bigger and better. Maybe we'll finally be over 70,000 subs by then. We'll see. I don't know. It's a slow crawl, but it's a crawl. It's a crawl all the same. We are higher now than we were a year ago, and hopefully a year from now we'll be even higher. Is Hook going to defeat Cody in Chicago on February 2nd? That would be, I don't know. That feels like it would be too soon. I do think Hook is going to take that title from Cody, though. I was thinking more, you know, I think you got to build up. I mean, Hook's had 2 matches. I was thinking more Double or Nothing. Give it a few extra months. I think February 2nd would be too soon. Vitamin Vision TV, Happy New Year. Solomonster, Happy New Year to you too. Vitamin Vision. And Boots. Boots isn't done yet. What will be the first song you listen to in 2022? It is the New Year's song that I was listening to on the stream here as soon as the clock hit midnight. That's the first song that I listened to. But if you're asking me the first non-New Year's song, well, let's see. I'll tell you the song that's at the top of the Spotify playlist. How about that? That'll probably be the first one I listen to. The list is on randomized, but it's Winds of Change by the Scorpions. So I guess it'll be Winds. Oh, I would love to play it right now. I can't though. So yeah, it'll probably be Winds of Change by the Scorpions. I have so many weird songs on here. There's this song I can't get out of my head from Doja Cat. I don't know why I've been listening to that. Anyway, FTR's theme. There you go. I do love FTR's theme in AEW. I do very much like the old school callback to the Midnight Express. Am I going to the Ric Flair event in Chicago to hear all of his story? I have no idea what you're talking about. He's doing an event in Chicago. Well, I'm not going, but I don't know what event you're talking about. But I will definitely not be there. I can tell you that. What song by Doja Cat? Well, Get Into It. Get Into It, yeah, apparently, is the name of the song. No, I have not heard Bitch, I'm a Cow. I have not heard that one. Who is my favorite superhero? Batman. Yeah, Tim, again, it's you gotta look at what he said, and the way he said it. It was not the time or the place for him to stick that in there. If you can't see that, then I don't know what to tell you. But he completely castrated whatever argument he was trying to make by sticking that little dig in there. It was not warranted. Solomonster, I watched Joker, thought it was pretty bad. Yeah, for those who didn't listen to the full podcast, I finally watched Joker last week. And I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was this all-time classic that some people are talking about, but I enjoyed it. I will probably never go back and watch it again. But I know a lot of people were getting on my case now. I haven't seen Joker. When are you going to see it? When are you going to see it? I said, before the clock turns midnight on January 1st of the new year, I have to see this movie. Actually, you know what I watched last night? Because I heard so many things about it. I watched the first episode. Squid Game. All I heard about was this Squid Game thing. And I read the description. I said, boy, that sounds like something I probably would be interested in. That sounds like something that would be right up my alley. And I watched it, and it was disturbing, but I enjoyed it. So I've found a new favorite show. Yeah, Frost, I think you hit the nail right on the head. Tony, he cares way too much about the Fox News thing or the Fox.com, whatever it was a few weeks ago, all that stuff where somebody put up an article and they made some kind of comment about AEW's ratings being down or something. And he posted this four tweet thread with charts and stuff with numbers. I'm like, why are you even bothering to respond to this? Nobody would even know about that article unless you brought it up. He doesn't have to respond to every little critique. That one was just ridiculous. I mean, some random article on a Fox website. First of all, it's Fox. They're in bed with WWE. I mean, right there, you got a conflict of interest. So I wouldn't put much stock in them saying anything negative about AEW. You got to consider the source. But, geez, I mean, you don't have to respond to every little thing. Dry chicken without flavor. I say Tony Khan should talk to his AEW talent of color individually, heart to heart. He'll have to say something, because if you've got people now who are upset, you gotta quell that before it turns into something that's going to be a real headache for him. So just from that point of view, it's kind of a whole mess that he created of his own making. And just clarify what you meant by it and say, look, I meant what I said. I didn't think she was that good, but, and then, have a conversation with them. Have an open conversation with them. And if they have concerns, then, let them voice those concerns. Show that you're not Vince McMahon and you actually give a shit and you want to hear them out. Make them feel like they actually have a voice. Sometimes when you're in a leadership position, you have to eat shit. Even if you feel like you've been wrong, people are saying things that aren't true about you, it's not right, or you have to apologize for something that you really feel you shouldn't have to apologize for. When you're in the kind of position that he's in, sometimes you have to eat shit and do what is in the best interest of your company. That's just the way it is. It's not just about you. He's got a gigantic roster with a lot of people. The last thing he needs is people who works for him seeing that and going, wait a minute. This ain't right. Hey, Joe Cronin Show dropping $5. Happy New Year, Solo. Happy New Year to Joe as well. I hope you are doing well. And I hope the channel does well in 2022. Not just the wrestling, the gaming, and everything else, man. Joe's been around for a long time. Joe's one of the OGs on YouTube. So, Happy New Year to him. Do I see a Ring of Honor title match on AEW television before April? It's possible. I mean, we're seeing a Ring of Honor title match, I think, at a GCW show coming up, I believe. So if they want that title to be out there so people don't forget about it, Tony Khan sent some reinforcements for Final Battle, so he has shown that he's willing to help out Ring of Honor. I don't know why, he feels he owes them anything, but if he did that, then sure, yeah, maybe at some point we get an ROH title match on TV. We've had NWA title matches, for the women's title. Was it the women? It was the women's title, right? Yeah, with Serena Deeb. The Bat and the Cat trailer. Yep, I saw that. I talked about that the other day. It looks really good. Really good. No word yet on any new seasons of Dark Side of the Ring. That has not yet been greenlit. I guarantee you, though, it's going to be harder for them to wrangle up people to interview after what happened this season. I don't know. If you're an old wrestler and you've got skeletons in your closet, I don't know why you would want to invite that camera crew into your home after, watching what Tommy Dreamer and some of these other people just talk themselves into the fucking mess that they talked themselves into. They shot themselves in the foot. I don't know why you would want to do that. Yep. Impact's Hard to Kill pay-per-view. Jonathan Gresham against Chris Sabin. I believe that's for the Ring of Honor title. Was there, somebody said something about and we'll wrap this up here in a little bit, but somebody said something about a Powerhouse Hobbs tweet. Is that true? Let me see here. We'll do this in real time. I haven't checked Twitter since I went live. I saw the Leo Rush stuff. I do not know yet if any other AEW wrestlers have tweeted about this. So let me go to Hobbs and see. All right, so here is a message that Powerhouse Hobbs, who I think is one of the future breakout stars in this company. I've said that before. He has posted this in response to the controversy of tonight. I've been featured in some heavy-ass spots since being signed to AEW as well as other minorities. Now Tony Khan has put me in spots at the right time that meant something. Punk, Christian Cage, Brian Cage, and Hangman, and especially running in and saving Mox. This company has been there since the passing of my mother. Cody and QT played tremendous part in getting me signed. Lastly, if you have an issue with someone, pick up the phone. And so that is from Powerhouse Hobbs. He posted that about 20 minutes ago. And Powerhouse Hobbs, again, has been featured in some pretty big spots. Not consistently, like every week on TV. Again, he's still young. He's not, I think part of the issue is AEW has brought in a lot of these experienced guys with names from WWE, Punk, Bryan, Adam Cole, a lot of these guys that have names, and they want to feature them on TV and hopefully drive numbers and drive ratings. They brought CM Punk in and they did their biggest buy rate in the history of the company. They did over 200,000 buys for All Out back in September because the guy was an attraction. So if I'm running a company, I want those guys at the top of the card. That's going to eat into the number of spots that are open at the top of the card. That's just business. But you look further down on the card, AEW is building and developing and pushing minority talent. So you can't say that they're not. Now, are they advancing fast enough? Are they in the spots that people want them to be in? Probably not. And that's okay. If that's how you feel, speak your mind. I think Hobbs saying that if you have a problem, pick up the phone. If Swole has a podcast, and I say this as a podcaster, I wouldn't want anybody telling me what I can and can't talk about on my podcast. Swole no longer works for AEW. So if she wants to go on her podcast and say, I like the environment in AEW, it's like a family, it's great, but there's some issues, then she's within her rights to go ahead and express her opinions, just like anybody can go and express their opinions. Tony Khan can express his opinions. Again, the issue tonight is more in how his response was worded and how badly it came off. He came off as very defensive. He came off, as taking a pot shot in a tweet where it just wasn't warranted. And so now he's getting a lot of shit for it. There's no easy answer to it. Everybody's going to have an opinion about, how he responded, or is Swole wrong for saying the things that she said. I think some of the things that she said, talking about how I need my peace, that just sounds pretentious to me. What does that even mean? I need my peace. I don't even know what that means. And you can get into a debate about what you think about her as a wrestler. She was never at the top of the card in AEW. She was never going to be featured in that spot because there were people who were much better than her, who were going to be pushed ahead of her, and rightfully so. But she certainly is within her rights to express herself. I'm not going to sit here and say that Big Swole doesn't have a right to speak her mind. So I am not going down that road. Not going down that road. Because I wouldn't want anybody telling me that on my podcast. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. That's, my response would be to somebody who told me that, fuck off. You don't tell me what to do. Jay Lethal. Somebody mentioned Jay Lethal. Yeah, Jay Lethal just came in. Jay Lethal is another one. Very experienced, very good wrestler. Hopefully will be pushed at a meaningful level. I was puzzled by the way that he was booked in that Battle Royal a few weeks ago. He just came in, had a great match on TV with Sammy Guevara, and got dumped like a fucking jabron in a matter of seconds in that Battle Royal a few weeks ago that they did. I definitely would not have used him in that way, but he's still new. I mean, he literally just came into the company, so it's too early to say how he's going to be used and, how hard do you push him? You could push Jay Lethal at a high level. You can push Jay Lethal into the, TNT title picture, world title picture, kind of at that level. He's not going to be the world champion anytime soon. AEW likes to have these long title reigns. And I look ahead to the future of the AEW World Championship. Hangman has it now. I think MJF is a likely candidate to take it away from him. And if he does, after MJF, who comes next, right? I mean, Wardlow is getting a push. Wardlow is going to be a monster babyface when he splits away from MJF. He should be in that spot. That's something they've been building for months and months and months. They've done a good job with some of these stories, building them up over a long period of time. Jay Lethal, I don't see him really fitting into the world title picture, in these next 6 months. But, who's to say later in the year, where he'll be on the card. He should be at a high level, though. He was one of the best in the company the day he walked in. He's been doing this for over 20 years. Dry Chicken says, push Private Party in 2022. Takes Manhattan. What's going on? Jason takes Manhattan. I like that. Yeah, push Private Party. Absolutely. I think Private Party is less over now than they were before they joined the Hardy family office. I actually think they've regressed is not the right word. Their push has regressed. I don't think the heel turn in joining the HOF did them any favors. So the best thing that could happen to them is to kind of come to their senses and they break away from Matt Hardy and they go back out on their own. Yeah, you want to talk about teams that deserve more television time and deserve to get a push. Santana and Ortiz. 2022 needs to be the year of Santana and Ortiz in AEW. Need somebody to be advocating for them as well. But and one more thing on the Big Swole thing, and she made a good point about this, and this is going to be an issue for AEW going forward. She made the point that a lot of people have made, which is that they keep signing people, and you knew that this was going to happen. The more people that Tony Khan signs, you knew that there were going to be people sitting in the back who are upset because all of this new talent is coming in and they're taking these spots right away. And you have people, the Dark crew, AEW Dark, who want to get on Dynamite, who want to get on Rampage, who are not going to. Because now you've got Miro and Danielson and Punk and, FTR came in and all these other people that have come in over these many months and more. There's more yet to come that are going to be taking up all these spots. And they're sitting in the back wondering, when am I going to get my opportunity? Sound familiar? Because you got a lot of people in WWE that are doing the exact same thing, sitting and catering, wondering, when am I going to get the chance to go on TV and do something? So she's not wrong in bringing that up either. That's a criticism a lot of people have made. You can't criticize Big Swole for talking about that because Big Swole is not the only one who's talked about that. That's another valid criticism of AEW. And that's fine. That's something I think Tony Khan acknowledges it now. He says, I need to be more kind of judicious in who I bring in. I'm not just going to bring anybody in. I'm only going to bring somebody in if I have a role in mind for them. Because even he realizes the roster is quickly getting to this point of being so bloated and so large that do we really have a spot for all of these people? Do we have a plan for all of these people? You don't want to become that which you have been criticizing, which is WWE, which just stockpiled all of this talent, had no idea, had no plans what to do with them. They just wanted to get them away from other companies like AEW. So they signed all these people and they just kind of put them in the corner like these toys that the shiny new toy, after a day they're bored with them, they put them on the side. You don't want that to happen either. And I think he realizes that. He's smart enough to understand that. And that's going to have to be something they address going forward in 2022. How much bigger does this roster get? Unless you add another television show, and I don't think they need another show. They may end up adding a second hour to Rampage. I could see TNT doing that. In fact, this year, I could see TNT expanding Rampage to 2 hours. But you don't want to start adding a third show and a fourth show. And, Where do those shows go? You have 2 YouTube shows. 2 TV shows, 2 YouTube shows. I think that's enough. But the talent, they're going to want to work. Talent is going to want to work. They didn't come to AEW. In some cases, they left WWE for that very reason, because they felt like, I'm just wasting away. I want to go somewhere else and spread my wings and work and show what I can really do and be on TV and make that money. So that is going to be a story to watch going forward in the months ahead. Because for all the positives and all these big names they brought in that got a lot of attention and a lot of eyeballs on AEW, at least temporarily, there can be a very nasty downside to that if it's not handled in the right way. Will Ember Moon end up in AEW this year? They are going to be bringing in more women, and Ember Moon would be a fine addition. Ember Moon and Toni Storm both. We talk about all of the talent that they've signed. The women's division could still use a few more experienced faces, and Ember Moon would be a great addition to the women's division in AEW. You get Toni Storm in there and Ember Moon, and they just got Mercedes Martinez. I could see Mercedes Martinez splitting her time like Serena Deeb has started doing, as a behind-the-scenes force in that company as well. So we don't just see her on TV, but we see her mentoring people behind the scenes, maybe even being some kind of a producer for the women. That's a woman with over 20 years of experience. She has a lot to offer as much behind the scenes, I think, as she does on TV in the ring. So it can't hurt to have a couple of people like that, Serena Deeb and Mercedes Martinez, working in those roles in that company. You add somebody like Toni Storm and Ember Moon. I don't know where Tegan Nox may end up. On top of Jade, who they're building, you got Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Thunder Rosa, and Riho, and Ty Conti. All of a sudden, they've got a good nucleus of female talent in that company. I hadn't even thought of Taya Valkyrie. Well, she's in, I think she's back in AAA, right? She's back in AAA with John Morrison. I believe so. So we do a segment on the AEW streams, and I will, since this is technically an AEW stream, I will let you guys decide if we should do the Be the Booker segment tonight. I'm sure the answer is going to be yes, but I will let you guys decide here before we head out in a little bit if we should do some Be the Booker action. I'm just checking to see if I've missed any. I probably have. I'm sure some other talent have posted tweets chiming in on this whole controversy. This is why I'll cover this story one more time on the Sunday show. Anything I may have missed, any other responses, we'll see if Tony Khan has a follow-up to it. I feel like he almost has to. So we'll definitely get more into this. But yes, I see everybody wants it. This is the first one of 2022. So we will do it right after I read the super chat from Dried Chicken Without Flavor. Here is my AEW prediction for 2022. Another title belt being added. Trios belts. They're coming. I can almost guarantee you they're coming. They're coming like Veer. They're coming in 2022. All right, guys. First time in 2022, we are going to play Be the Booker. Hey, there's Steve. Steve Mello. I wasn't sure he'd be joining us tonight, but Steve Mello, boy, I'd be remiss if I did not give Steve a shout out here on the show, because Steve, just go back here for a second. Steve is the one who is responsible for huddling with me and a lot of the artwork and the thumbnails that you see here on these streams that bring these streams to life and make me look with my surroundings here a lot better than I really look. So I want to thank him and wish him and his family, the extended Mellow family, a very happy 2022. And hopefully we have an even bigger and better year. Come up with even more great artwork and ideas here in the new year. All right, enough of that mushy shit. Back to be the booker here. We're going to book a men's match and a women's match. And the first thing we'll do is we will play with the men here. Well, that came out wrong. We will pick the men for our main event. First one of the new year. And boy, we can't start off any better than that. We got The Rock. Look at this. The Rock, who has made it very clear he will not be in any more Fast and Furious movies because he absolutely fucking hates Vin Diesel's guts. Although he's more diplomatic about saying that, but you could tell he fucking hates Vin Diesel. So who will The Rock be stepping into the ring with? Oh boy, can you imagine if it lands on Roman Reigns? The Rock one-on-one in the main event of WrestleMania. Oh my goodness, I could not have booked myself a better first main event of the new year. Look at that, the Macho Man. Ooh yeah. Randy Savage and The Rock. What do you guys think about that? Interesting story on that. As the story goes, The Rock was hoping to work a WrestleMania match with, I believe, Randy Savage. Was it Randy Savage or Sting? I want to say it was Randy Savage at WrestleMania in 2005 until his contract expired at the end of 2004 in what WWE claimed was a clerical oversight. Yes, because you allow The Rock's contract to lapse and go, oops, we forgot. So you can understand why The Rock was upset about that and didn't come back to the company for 7 years. I believe, though, he was already coming up with ideas to possibly see if Randy Savage would come in for a match at WrestleMania 21. Now, I don't think it would have happened because, at that point, Savage was done. I mean, you remember how he looked in TNA in 2004? That was the year before. He was in no condition to go out there and have a WrestleMania match at that point. But, boy, that's a match we missed out on right there. The Macho Man Randy Savage one-on-one against The Rock. So, boy, I just want to end it there. I mean, there's no topping that. But we must go on. We must go on and book the women's match. And let's take a look and see what we end up with here. What do we end up with here? We have got Stephanie McMahon. Interesting how we go from the Macho Man to Stephanie McMahon. I'm going to get myself in trouble here, so let's move on. Who will Stephanie be facing? Who will Stephanie be slapping at WrestleMania? Stephanie McMahon one-on-one. Oh, dear God. Oh, my God. God. Oh, dear Lord. We go from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. I don't know that I could have booked a better men's match, and I don't think it would have been possible for me to book a worse match with the women. Oh my God. Stephanie McMahon against Rosa Mendez. I can't even, I'm trying to visualize that in my head and my brain hurts. Like, can you even imagine Stephanie McMahon against Rosa Mendez against anybody in the WrestleMania main event? But wow, that is 7 levels of hell awful. So, oh, good Lord. Boy, we can't end with it. Please tell me there's some more super chats I missed here. We can't end with that. That's a horrible way to end the 2022 stream here. All right, we got a few more. Thank God we have a few more here to rescue us before we head out. Turtlehead, tell Steve to add Ms. Dad to the random. Tell Steve that's Zinfamous. Zinfamous HD is the one who put that tweet together. And you'd have to talk to him. He's the one. I just take the tweet and I use it. I can't do anything beyond that. Marcus Robinson Johnson. Happy New Year from Dallas. Hope everybody has a great year. Happy New Year to you as well, Marcus. Marcus we have a second Marcus. Well, we have two. Look at that. Marcus the Entertainer. Your thought on having more creative writers for the talent versus having more creative input from the talent. I think there's got to be a balance. I mean, AEW doesn't have writers. And I think AEW, for the most part, they've done just fine. And their shows are more enjoyable. AEW has proven that you do not need writers writing out every aspect of the show. They've proven it. Proof of concept is called Dynamite. And Dynamite, for the most part, is an enjoyable show way more than it isn't. And it's far more enjoyable than whatever the hell that we see on Monday nights. I mean, that just goes without saying. So they've proven that you don't need an army of writers. You don't need a whole squad of writers. I think having input from the talent is good. But at the same time, you can't have the inmates running the asylum, right? Talents can also have a lot of bad ideas. People don't talk about that. They just talk about, well, the talent should have more creative freedom. Well, there's a lot of really shitty ideas that talent have. Sometimes you have to leave the ideas to the other people who just are better at that. Some wrestlers don't necessarily have a creative bone in their bodies. They can go out there and they can perform and they can do the moves and everything and they can cut promos, but they may not have any good ideas. There's got to be a balance. You want talent, I think, to know that their ideas and their input is welcomed, but not necessarily going to be utilized. So I wouldn't close my door on somebody and say, hey, we have writers for this. Keep your ideas to yourself. I would say, cool, you got an idea? Pitch us. What do you got? And have a conversation with them. And people are not going to be happy when their ideas don't get used. But I think if AEW is, if they continue to be a company that talent feels like we can pitch ideas and our voices are being heard, then it's going to make for a much more enjoyable work environment than doing it the other way. I would rather work in a place where I know I have the freedom to speak my mind and actually pitch ideas and feel like I can pitch in and help out than being told or feeling, like my opinion doesn't matter. Just show up, read what's on the sheet, go out there and do your job and shut up. I wouldn't want to work in a place like that. Unless they were paying me, $1 million a year, then I would probably work in a place like that. But otherwise, I would not want to. I know which of the two I would choose. The Sky Genie channel. Wardlow's push in popularity reminds me of Batista when he was splitting from Evolution to face Triple H, which is one of my all-time favorite angles. That made them a lot of money in the main event of WrestleMania 21. So that angle could not have gone any better. And to his credit, Triple H, obviously he handpicked Batista for Evolution, so he wanted him to succeed. He put him over like $1 million. Bob the Builder, is Game of Thrones on your watch list? It is. I have not seen it, but it is on my list. Nick Grosso, Tegan Knox would be a great addition to the AEW roster, and congrats to Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona, who got married today. Yes, they hitched. They got hitched. They got hitched. It's the right way to say it, right? So congrats to the happy couple. Marcus the Entertainer, more Solomonster in 2022 is an automatic thumbs up. And Bob the Builder, would you take the AEW PR job? There is no AEW PR job open that I'm aware of, so that is a no comment. Stop after season 5 when you watch it. I don't know. I was of the impression that Game of Thrones got better as it got closer to the end. Is that not true? I've heard that about Dexter. Dexter is another show I never saw. I heard that Dexter was really good, and then the last couple of seasons it just fell off a fucking cliff. So that seems to be the consensus on Dexter. I did not see Spider-Man No Way Home. Nick Grosso, one more thing. Congrats to Su Yung and Rich Swann, who are expecting their first child later this year. I did hear that there was some big reveal at the end of Impact this week that Su Yung is with child. So congrats to the two of them. So I see a lot of talk on the screen here in the live chat about Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti and their official. Was there something posted? Again, honestly, I really don't care. And I said this when everybody was attacking Ty Conti and going after her. It was really vicious because people fucking suck sometimes. And they chased her off social media for a few weeks. Implying that she was a homewrecker and she's this and that. And meanwhile, Sammy came out and said that he and his girlfriend, his fiance, broke up like 2 or 3 months ago. But they went after her. And I said on the podcast, I said, first of all, it's none of our fucking business. Number one. Number two, it may well be that they're dating. It may well be that they're together. And if they are, who cares? Who cares? Why does this bother certain people? Why do people make assumptions about things that they know nothing about when it comes to relationship status of celebrities? Is this just I never really understood that. Sammy posted a picture on Instagram of them kissing. Well, you know what? If I had some champagne, I would salute them right now. Congrats. I'm happy for them. Beyond that, it's nobody's fucking business. Live and let live. That's what I say. There's a great phrase to live by in the new year. Live and let live. Unless somebody is doing something that is in some way harmful to you, if they're living their life and doing their thing, then leave them the fuck alone and mind your own business. A PSA from the Solomonster. Magician Sapphire, I think Tony Khan needs to put together a booking team to better filter pitches and monitor talent. Maybe having everything go through one person can cause things to bottleneck. You know, I said Tony Khan is going to burn himself out. And I said this months ago when Max Caster got in all that hot water because of the rap. And he had those couple of really stupid lines in his rap. And Tony Khan was like, well, I was in the back and I didn't hear it when it first happened. And yeah, he said that going forward, I'm going to be overseeing the editing now of Dark and Dark Elevation. And he kind of made a comment in there. He goes, I already do everything else. It's a lot of work. But now, you know, you could tell he wasn't very happy about having to kind of take that responsibility on himself. And I said, this guy's a billionaire. He's the owner of the company. He's already into all of these other things. He's got so many different responsibilities on top of the Jaguars and whatever he does with them, and on top of Fulham and the work he does there, because wrestling is not the only thing that he works on. This guy is going to burn himself out. Now he's sitting there editing Dark Elevation. Like, yes, you should delegate certain things to other people. Find people that you can trust and rely on to do some of these other things that he shouldn't be doing. So I think if he had his own, and maybe he already does, like we don't know. If he has his own core small group, maybe it's the EVPs. But like Vince McMahon, we hear stories about back in the day, it was Vince and Bruce and Pat Patterson by the pool, out back at Vince's house. And they would just book out the next 6 months of WWF storylines. And even in the Attitude Era, in the early part of the Attitude Era, right? The mid to late 90s, like 96, 97. Russo took over. He was in charge of coming up with a lot of the ideas. He was the head writer. It was Russo, it was Ferrara. It would get filtered through Vince. Maybe Patterson still had some kind of involvement in Bruce. I don't know to what extent Jim Cornette was involved. I think, well, Cornette, around that time, he would have been. So they had like a team. Maybe it was like half a dozen people. Jim Ross probably was part of it. But like, it was a small, tight-knit group. You don't need like an army like what WWE has now. I think that would be advantageous for Tony. Otherwise, this guy's going to burn himself out, and that's not going to be good for anybody. It's not going to be good for AEW. I still, just the idea of Cornette and Russo being in the same room as Russo is pitching some of these ideas, I would love to have been a fly on the wall. I would, when Cornette tells those stories, when I hear clips from his podcast and he tells stories occasionally about just stupid shit that Russo would say. I think there was one episode of Raw where he booked like 7 disqualifications in a row or something on the show. And I'm trying to think of the story Cornette told, and he like confronted Russo calmly in the hallway, I think, and said, you realize that we have like however many DQs on the show. And he said Russo was very flippant in his response, and he said like, oh, DQ schmeq. I could just picture the steam, coming from Cornette's ears as he said this, just so flippant towards him. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for some of those meetings, or the ones where Cornette would go off on Kevin Dunn. And he made Kevin Dunn cry a couple of times. Oh, I would have loved to have been there for that. I would have loved to have been there for those. Oh, talk about great entertainment. Heyman got a lot of heat at WWE when he booked. Well, I mean, there's also a little more. There's a little more to the story with Heyman. I mean, there were stories of him eavesdropping on conversations. Yeah, that was back when the brand split was really first in full effect, and Heyman was on the SmackDown side, and the Raw crew wanted to get one up on SmackDown. SmackDown wanted talent to go to SmackDown and not Raw, but they would have these conference calls, and I think Heyman, they thought Heyman was like off the line or something, and he was still on the line. And he was like eavesdropping on conversation. That's what got him fired in 03, I think it was. 03 or 04. So Heyman was a little mischievous in some of the shit that he pulled. But yeah, no, Heyman, they probably would have been better off going with Heyman's ideas than certain other ideas that came maybe from Stephanie and other people at the time. Frost says, I don't think beavers can cry. Heyman built SmackDown with little to work with. Oh, I don't know. SmackDown back in 02, 03? SmackDown 6 era? I think he had quite a bit to work with. If I was booking at that time or writing the shows, I would love to have the talent that Heyman had at his disposal. At that point, God, he had, well, at one time, it was Rock and Hogan, Lesnar, right? And then you had Kurt, right? Was Kurt on SmackDown? Yeah, Kurt was on SmackDown. And Benoit and Eddie and Young Edge, Rey Mysterio. World's greatest tag team. My God. It was more like the SmackDown 12 that they had. Moxley roasted Dunn in his book. He did. He went nuclear on Kevin Dunn in his book. I read that page. Somebody posted it online. Yeah, he is no fan of Kevin Dunn. Kevin Dunn, let me tell you something. Kevin Dunn, I'm sure, has ruined quite a few careers because in his position, he has a lot of power and influence in that company. And I'm sure he's ruined a number of careers that maybe would have flourished were it not for him not liking them. You get heat with Kevin Dunn, you're pretty much fucked in that company. Armando Torres. Hey, Solomonster, just came in here now. Wish you a happy New Year's. Hope you're holding up well. Yeah, I'm reaching the end here. I think we're just about to wrap things up. Thank you, though, Armando. I'm glad you were able to join, even though it was at the very end here. Yeah, look at that. I mean, look at Kurt, Eddie, Edge, Chavo, Ray, Benoit. They were the workhorses. But you had those guys, but you had the big names too. You had Lesnar, and you had Hogan, and you had Rock. Undertaker, I think, was also on the show around that time. So, I mean, you had the big name. It was, you know what it reminds me of? What made WCW Monday Nitro work. You had the workhorses, a lot of whom came from the Cruiserweight division. So you wanted great in-ring action, you got that. They would hook you in, and you would stay for the big names. Hogan, Savage, Piper, Goldberg, Luger, Sting, Steiner. It was a great formula, and it worked for a while. I see a little bit of that when I look back at that SmackDown era. You had the workhorses, and you also had some of the big names. And there was a period of time there where SmackDown was just, it was the A show. I mean, there was no debate about it. Triple H was doing his thing, fucking up careers left and right on Mondays, but on I guess Thursdays it was back then. SmackDown was the shit. SmackDown was the A show, without a doubt. Yes, Armando, you came in at just the right time. Tim, thank you. You know, SmackDown, objectively, SmackDown was the better show at that time than Raw. I mean, teach their own, but SmackDown to me was objectively the better show, no doubt about it. Much more enjoyable, great wrestling, you know, good storylines. Thunderblade Liger, buy or sell on SmackDown 1999 or SmackDown 2004? SmackDown 1999. You know, by 04, you're getting like Luther Reigns and some of this other shit that I wasn't really a fan of as much. 99 SmackDown with the Ovaltron and all that. Yeah, I got to go with SmackDown from 99 on that. Raw had Eugene. Oh, there you go. That says it all. Raw had Eugene. And Katie Vick. Don't forget Katie Vick. All right, guys. I am about tapped out. We have been on since 10 p.m. It is almost 1:30 in the morning here. We still have quite a few people with us, right? Just under 800. I know we peaked with over 1,000 a little bit earlier. You guys brought it tonight. Let me tell you, with the Super Chat support, we went out with a fucking bang this year. DDP would be happy. We went out with a bang and a boom. We had a lot of booms outside the window from all the pyro. This has been a lot of fun. I'm sure we'll get together and do this again next year. I want to wish you all a very happy new year. And hopefully you will join me tomorrow night. I'm going to be back with you for the Day One review. As soon as the pay-per-view goes off the air, come on back here to the channel and we'll talk about the show tomorrow night. We also have the top 15 matches of 2021, my ranking, my countdown. It's going to be part of the podcast on Sunday, episode 737. We'll see if there's any more fallout or news to talk about from the Swole and the Tony Khan stuff. Anybody else chimes in on that, I'm sure we'll talk about that. Lakers Pat says you have to stay until it's midnight in the West Coast. No, I don't. No, I don't. I have a lot of work to do tomorrow, my friend. I have a pay-per-view to get ready for. I'm not even done with my notes for Sunday, especially with all the shit that went down tonight. I got a lot of work to do. But I wish all of our West Coast fans, all of our West Coast viewers, I wish all of you a Happy New Year as well. And I think that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to mention here, I believe. Right? Get some more confetti here just for the occasion. Some final confetti, right? Put the New Year's music back on here. One last salute. If you guys have anything left in your glass, your mug, your bucket, whatever your brown bag, whatever you're drinking out of here, I wish you all health and happiness here in the new year. Lots and lots and lots and lots of great wrestling. We had a lot of it in 2021. We actually had a lot of great wrestling in 2021. Despite all the bullshit and all the muck and all the bad stuff, there was a lot of good stuff too. So hopefully we have more of that to come in the new year. We got a couple of final super chats here. We just turn the music down here a little bit. Juan Ocampo, thoughts on Brian Gewirtz. He was part of the Triple H Reign of Terror, but on the Ruthless Aggression documentaries, he seems like a great creative mind. Brian Gewirtz is really tight with The Rock. I think he works with The Rock now, I believe. All The Rock's segments, he always worked with Brian. You know, every time he came back, let me get that confetti on. I look ridiculous. So I've heard different things about Gewirtz. You know, Gewirtz was there through some of the bad episodes of Raw too. He wasn't, I don't think, a creative genius, but I think he contributed a lot. You know, he was there for a very long time. So he was there for longer than most. You have a lot of turnover on the creative end of that company, and so he stuck it out for a very long time. And Jamin John, Kurt Angle got so sick of the "You Suck" chants at one point that he had them censored on TV. It's one of the best Raw segments. Kurt Angle had a lot of great segments. Maybe one of my all-time favorites was when they were on some college campus and he was wrestling the Godfather and he came out with condoms and was talking about handing out prophylactics to the audience. That was Kurt back in 2000. Early Kurt Angle. No, it is not the Val Venus song. It's the Happy New Year song. Don't sully the Happy New Year song. Hit that like on your way out. I want to hit when I watch this parts of this video back on the download. I want to see that at 700, 800 likes. So hit that thumbs up and get those likes up. Thank you all again for all of the support. And I will see you, I guess later tonight. I will see you for the Day One review. So until then, Happy New Year, everybody. Take care. See you in 2022. We'll do it all over again in a year. Take care, guys.